Yeah, so Haven is an interesting map because, like you said, I mean, Dan and I coming from CS, we're used to two sites. Haven is so difficult to play because you're so spread thin on defense. But with that said, your rotations are really, really fast. So it's often on the attackers to sell a lot of fakes, push and pull rotations around, and it becomes a little bit difficult if you're doing like 5-person site hits. And that's why you see teams spread it out and push and pull rotations. So whoever does that best here will likely be stealing the map.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's it's always really interesting to see how teams just deal with that basic element, because teams can respond very differently to how the rotations are pushed and pulled. But I am seeing the agent selector on screen, so I feel like we've got to start talking about that. Sean, is there anything off the gate that you're excited to see? I see the hover on the Yoru. Okay, yeah, I knew it was a lie.
It's always a lie, Dan. It's always a lie. And you know me, I just want to see it. Okay, I like this. We get to see the Sky versus Sova. Now, I think in the 3.0 patch, Sky got a little bit of a buff, Sova got a bit of a nerf, and Sky's definitely going to be favored in that patch. In this patch, I also like seeing Sky on Haven. I know Sova's the one that can, ult across the entire map, and he has so many notable ults I can think of in pro play come from Sova on Haven. But I think Sky's control with the birds and the Trailblazer on Haven is kind of understated. I think she's underestimated a lot on this map.
Yeah, it's been actually so interesting just to see, like, I mean, this happens in just video games in general. We saw this a lot in Counter-Strike as well, where, like, for example, in Counter-Strike, the fact that the Krieg was undiscovered for so long, yet it was always there, always completely imbalanced. Yeah, it took a long time for people to discover it. I felt like that was the same with Sky as well, because when Sky obviously first came out, it didn't really seem like it just took a long time for people to really understand the best ways to really get the most out of the abilities and how that can also deal with the current meta. So speaking of which, we're not seeing an Astra, and
yeah,
I feel pretty good about that.
Omen is the only overlap between these teams. How insane is that? The Sentinel difference between Killjoy, Cypher, one team has a Jet, and right off the bat, this looks like a garage split. I mean, Killjoy puts a turret in window to control front B. There's that Trailblazer going into garage to clear it out.
And that's going to get a lot of info just to try to get that space as well. Emily Knight's counterflash coming through to try to slow this one down. The Paranoia is sent out to slow this push, and it looks like it's going to have to be Shopify just turning their attention to the rest of the map here, because C is totally shut down. Wall goes up to push into this B site now. See that Dignitas is going to be hard pressed to defend this. Great shock dart. The follow-up's good as well with the Ghost. And that might be a wrap here, because this is going to be hard to recover. The spike is just totally lost.
Holy cow, that was so clean. The shock dart, right when she sensed the push, the wall goes up. She immediately counters it. It looked like if that shock dart didn't take out that player, she was a goner.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Flawless as well. Always good to see. And that's going to be, a confident start for Dignitas. Again, Short and I were not predicting Dignitas to win this one in this series, and I'm already a little bit worried. But ultimately, we just want to see a super competitive match and see both of these teams giving it their all, and I'm sure that that's exactly what we're going to see.
Dang, that was such a good shock dart from Shiliana right there. And like you said, getting flawlesses in Valorant is so important because it keeps the ult orbs down for the other team, and now you're not going to see that Blade Storm come out as soon as you would.
And looks like we'll have a lot of pressure towards C again. We'll get that deep dark cover, which I guess we can probably expect that to arrive pretty often. Would you say, Sean, are we going to see this dark cover used a lot?
Yeah, a lot of teams use this deep dark cover on C to just deny info, get the orb, and basically force the player on C to have no information. And just having no information keeps 2 to 3 people towards that site. But you can see Emily's already rotating back towards A and spawn right now, and she'll be at this A site by the time the hit comes in. So great rotations coming out of Dig.
And we might get a decent challenge coming in here on the short A position. Actually, Stephanie wrapping around. We'll get some info, but it looks like the main push will come through onto the site now through long. Emily once again holding things. Stephanie in there in the action just in the nick of time, doing a lot of damage, preventing any entry into the site, losing only a single player, so that's only one player down for Dig in the course of 2 rounds. So that's great for their economy for sure.
Yeah, they've been all over both of these hits, Dan. I'm a little bit worried. I mean, they had the triple C stack ready for that early garage split on pistol. And then on this round, you know, Emily cheats over towards C early in case there's a C hit, and then rotates back to A. And you can see she was ready with the curveball the second the exec came in. And now, again, they're ready for this A lobby control. And would you look at this, Shopify Rebellion sends 4 towards A lobby at the start. This is going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, let's see if this map control works out here. And who works out for? And we get the challenge coming in from Elite. There goes the flashes. The trade comes through, however. And that's going to be a 4 versus 4. And it looks like we might get a reset here. With a minute and a half to go, there's lots of options there now on the attack for Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, and if you look, the Cypher has a cam looking down C long and a trip in garage and B. So that's allowing, you know, Dignitas to play 2 people towards the A site, and the Omen's kind of just floating between C and B right now. Cam is taken down, and you can see that forces a rotate coming in. Very well played right now by Shopify. They're kind of pushing and pulling everything around. They sell the pressure towards C right there, and now they're regrouping towards garage.
Yeah, really liking this. It does really feel like they got very much in the dark right now. It doesn't seem like there's too much for them to gain information with. Maybe there could be a Sova recon dart that could come off of cooldown. And either way, it's going to be the hit coming through. That's going to tell Dig everything they need to know. There goes the wall once again. Caught by the trip. That won't do too much. There is that recon sent through. Will we get some more good shock darts coming through here from Shirleyana? Looks like nothing will land. And I mean, the spike's going to go down here, but they have to defend it, and that's a good start. Holding that garage rotation, that's fantastic work coming through from Shopify. This is a great hold so far. It's just Stephanie and Shirleyana left here in this 2 versus 4, but it's going to be so difficult to prevent Shopify Rebellion from just having their way with this. There's not too much for them to do here. There goes the paranoia, which they were still holding on to. Stephanie will manage to find a kill. There comes the showstopper to try to find that extra kill. There's some time now. Stephanie has to hold this all by herself, but unfortunately the hold is not going to come through. Shirleyana is going to go down. Stephanie forced for the hold, and it will be Han taking her out. So great finish to the round by Shopify for sure.
Yeah, I was really curious about using that showstopper right there. I mean, things could have gone Stephanie's way, but that was a big ability used right there in that clutch that honestly didn't really seem very winnable at that point. I'm curious if she's going to regret that, you know, in this round, because that was just a bonus right there. And you can see this is the first full buy round coming out of both teams.
Yeah, and as we were talking about too, you know, Dig have managed to maintain a pretty good economy throughout this, so we'll be spending everything here. Spectre on Stephanie. And we'll get... Oh, go ahead, Sean.
Oh, I was just going to say they're doing that same A lobby control, but this is totally different because this is the fast C split.
And Dig have that push all the way through, as you say, so they're going to have a fast flank on this one. We have the site given up by Dig. That's by design. Here comes that Hunter's Fury to try to clear out the site, delay the plant attempt. Doing a pretty good job, actually, and you can see the retake by Dig is being set up, and the ground here for both teams is quite interesting. We'll get the exchanges coming through now. Shopify able to defend quite nicely, using that long position to their advantage at the moment. Still trying to get the spike planted, though, so this is actually a great news for Dig. Evening things up here. Beautiful hold there coming from Garage. Great line of sight there from Rain. And there is a lot of problems here. Paranoia set through as well to make matters worse. KP stuck. Backside. Nothing to be done. Oh, man. That delay on the spike plant was everything, Sean.
Wow, I cannot believe Dig just won this round. I can't believe it. When the wall went up for safety from the stage, everything looked so clean. And then the whiffed, you know, Sova ult for the first 2. She ends up getting the tag on the 3rd. But I was shocked to not see the spike go down for so long. That was such good just denial of that from coming in from Dig. And ultimately, that denial, bleeding out the time of the round, is what got them that win. And you could see what's done now to the economy. They're heavily favored now to just end up dominating this half.
Yeah, I was going to say that felt like a huge swing round. Dig had nothing in the tank, so huge A push coming through very quickly here. Just switching up that pace, putting the aggression on towards Emily, though.
They want the Killjoy ult in short A right now for this A hit. And it looks like Dig is really aware of that.
And Stephanie with the raised util could be problematic. Oh, is this too transparent? We can see there's a huge lean coming in from Dignitas' defense. Completely giving up the C side. They can lead to Cypher's cam there. So again, that's the power of Cypher, able to cover a lot of ground there, get that information. And right now, it doesn't feel like they have to do too much here. Oh, beautiful hot hands coming through to try to delay things. And look how staggered the push is. Everybody here on the attack for Shopify is totally split up, and they cannot fight with each other. Dignitas doing such a good job in just reading the play and responding perfectly.
That is so smart from Dig. They've done this A lobby control several times before. We've seen them play super aggressive and keep pushing. We've seen them rotate to C like that last round, and now we've seen them drop back and play passive in the site. And in my opinion, they did that because they knew Flowerful has that Killjoy ult. They sensed the A hit, and they knew that, I mean, Killjoys love ulting in that short A little cubby because it gets all of the site. So they denied that the entire round. Wow, that was really smart from Dig. That was a Secret Lab flawless round right there coming in right there from Dig. That's 2 flawless right now in this game. The res and the lockdown are available for Shopify Rebellion, but this is going to be a huge hurdle to even get into this B site right now.
Yeah, looks like they are geared up for it, though. And, I mean, well, same can be said for Dig. They are so ready for this one. Cyber Cage goes out to slow things down. Dig have been just generally doing such a good job at just, again, seeing what's coming ahead of time and then understanding how to use their util to slow it down. Is force Shopify into a position where it's very hard, but actually, with that said, it looks like their rotations have been abused there. We can see that Panini's managed to find her way into the back. Oh my god! Panini, fantastic work out of the Sheriff. And with that, it's now 3 versus 5. Dig are in a horrendous situation. Unbelievable. It's about to get worse, possibly. Emily does manage to find that frag, so there is still a chance here for Dig, but it's certainly going to be a tough one.
It's definitely going to be a hard retake for Dig, especially with the Sage Wall up in Garage, but that will help.
Corey just going for that forward peek. Flash straight in the face for Sholiana, trying to defend Emily in the meantime. Coming through Garage, wrapping around the back. KP and Han will have to try to hold this. The defuser's coming through. It's now being stuck to halfway. In fact, Stephanie's sticking it all the way. Oh, God! It's actually managed to make it happen. That's the clutch. Unreal. Getting there just in time.
Wow.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Believe she was able to stick that. The second she saw the player push through spawn to frag out her Garage player, the wall's up in Garage. Wow. That is a very impactful round. That could have turned the tides of the entire half. But here we have another full buy coming in. And you can see Dig is actually switching things up. This isn't the same A lobby control we've seen in the past.
They're definitely looking to put the focus elsewhere. Although they do have that A-long pressure coming in from Stephanie, trying to get that forward position behind the dark cover. And I love this A-lobby control dark cover that we have been seeing here. Sholiana's got to be careful. That does get tagged down to 23. Has to give up garage control. Laurie actually seeing if she can catch anyone making a misstep from ceiling to that B site.
I've got your
Knowing though that trip is there. Unable to push any further. And there goes the cabbages.
Ooh, so they
and it's a fake
them,
Sean.
Yeah, they send them into C, and Jet is just waiting for the rotate. So you can see Dig did bite a little bit on the rotate. They rotated to C, and that kind of opened things up for Jet right now.
Dashing through trips, you gotta get the most out of it whilst that lasts. I will see Laurie going down after trying to just slow things down through B. I really love the play to try to dash to the back of B, but we'll get to that later. We will get this post-plant scenario now. 4 versus 4 for Dig to try to deny Shopify, who have really been coming off drawing the short stick repeatedly, but good start there. Yeah, getting caught. KP holding down that flank. And also to make matters worse, to kill more time, we've got the lockdown and KP on that flank. It feels like there should be no way that Dig can save this one. Fantastic follow up on that flank from KP. Just knocking down pretty much everybody here. Shodiana will take the trade, but it's too little too late. And finally, Sean, Shopify going to get in there.
Yeah, that was such a good lockdown. I love seeing lockdowns used during the spike plant like that, or even post spike plant, because it just stalls out the retake for so long. I mean, think about how far you are away just to not get locked down. That's why Emily got caught in it, opened up KP's flank even more. And yeah, this round was almost all KP. Gets the orb C long, alt C long for the fake, runs back towards mid, holds the rotation, and then flanks. Very well done by KP.
Yes, this should do.
Ooh, love the nutty Cypher cams. So we see a difference in the Cypher setup, switching it over towards A. You liking that, Sean?
Dude, I always like it when the Cyphers switch around, and he's actually just fully evacuating this A site. This is just a full retake A setup. And honestly, Shopify might go into this. Rain smokes A lobby at the start of the round. They've been controlling A lobby, and this is what that A lobby pressure has done for them. It's allowed them to do a setup like this.
It's kind of crazy because you can see on the minimap how constricted SR are at the moment. And just as you say, it is just it's an impact of this aggressive control that we have had. And we'll go for that A lobby retake. So we'll see what can be done here for Shopify Rebellion. However, as you pointed out, it is an A retake setup. So that gives Dig a lot of options in the mid rounds.
Ooh, Rain uses the ult to clear out long A. And that has to be in Shopify's mind right now, that she cleared out long, got all that info, and they're going to be going right into this stack.
Straight into the stack. To see if they can shoot their way out. There goes the dash from Laurie with the knives. Spike's going to get planted here. And this is going to be quite desperate. I mean, we'll have to see what Laurie's able to do with that. We'll have Shodiana heading up that Hunter's Fury, trying to find those long-range snipes with that one. Thea holding down the heaven position. Oh, it's looking pretty good here right now for Dig. 5 versus 3. Still have Laurie alive. There comes the res onto Panini. So still looking pretty good. Stephanie, sends out the showstopper. That's 2 down straight away. And the defuse is coming through clean. How have they got 5 players alive? I don't know, but it worked. See another secret lab. Flawless in the bag for Dig. That's like, I don't even want to count at this point. There's been too many.
Yeah, I mean, this is just such a well-played half right now by Dig. The fact that Thea is aware of this A link push, I said they were going into the teeth of the setup, but actually Dig was shifting towards Garage C, so B was wide open, and that A link push could have been devastating if Thea fell. But she did such a good job of staying patient and allowing the retake to come in, and then Stephanie secures it with the showstopper at the end. They are really impressing me right now this half.
Yeah, they're doing so well. And they have won some of those key clutch rounds as well. So have been some serendipitous moments for them as also. Emily catches Laurie with that off angle there. It's a nice opening pick to win, and that's never fun to be on the receiving end. But Shopify Rebellion off the back of that, 4 versus 5 decide to go to A.
Yeah, and I think they realize that this is likely an A retake setup, so they're just running it down at this point. Omen ult comes in, and he gets sent back right away by Thea.
Juliana with the cheeky shock dart, trying to just delay that spy plant. There come the paint shells to do just that as well. And that's all buying time here for the rotation. Thea also doing a good job just pressuring from heaven, but as I say, that harm will take down Thea, so that's a good win there for Shopify Rebellion. Still need to get the spike planted, and with all of these Dig players knocking at the door, it's quite scary. Oh, goes for the drop. KP off the ice wall. I like the play, but doesn't work out this time. The line-up is also not going to pan out for Shopify Rebellion, trying to hold on to this one, but Dig, this is just, I don't know, Sean, sometimes it's just written in the stars. Someone, Nostradamus made a prophecy about this. It feels like Dig are just winning this half. Everything's going their way. It's fantastic.
They definitely look mega prepared on a lot of these little kind of combo plays. Like right there, the Omen Paranoia coming through, perfectly timed with the recon bolt from Sholiana. Thea playing retake heaven with the the nerd cam up on the wall. Everything looks really well coordinated right now in the Dig half, and I can't say the same from Shopify Rebellion. It's a lot of individual plays that are getting them in these rounds.
Have to see if things can switch up here. Going back into the buy again. A fast pace up mid in toward B. We have that trip that's been there, I think, pretty much every time. We're seeing that ice wall coming through again. Nice defense, though. Shiliana able to stop the entry frag. And That is creating problems here. Only 3 left now for Shopify Rebellion. There's a lot of time, but oh, it feels so desperate as they switch things up into Garage, and Shodiana is there to put that pressure on and just running into the util. It feels like Dig are just shepherding, herding these Shopify Rebellion players into their untimely demise at this point. Just powerful left, and not for too much longer. That's an 8-2 scoreline. Oh, another fantastic round from Dig.
Brutal, absolutely brutal. I mean, you could see everything that they're trying to do. They're moving Thea around every single round. Like, I feel like we've seen her trips B, Garage, A, C. I mean, that round we saw her C. They're constantly moving their setups around right now, and it is very, very hard to read for the Shopify Rebellion squad. I mean, they have no answers right now, particularly Lori. I mean, Lori's having a really rough half, I'm being honest. So if Shopify wants any chance in this matchup, she needs to get activated.
Well, it looks like Lori will have the firepower in this round. And I mean, we have this tactical here. You know, I can only imagine it's Shopify Rebellion who have called it. And one of the things that's been difficult, I think, you know, if we go back into our sort of mental round history, one of the things for me, Sean, was that A lobby control. That it's as simple as that dark cover. It felt like Dig started to glean so much information for a signature ability. It was a very cheap cost for them to have that presence on the map that felt like they were able to dictate the pace.
Yeah, I think Dig, like you said, they're dictating the pace almost every round. They're controlling key aspects of the map. And it looks like even though Shopify Rebellion initially started doing a really good job of seesawing between the sites and pushing and pulling rotations, it wasn't working. And now they've resorted to this B plan, and their B plan isn't working either. So I don't know what you do at this point if you're them. See, they're joining through Garage, they break the trip. Now they should really go B and break this trip as well. And this should be a protocol they do every single round. The jet dashes in.
Yeah, breaking the trip. They've got the sheriffs out here. They need some sheriff magic.
Spike planted.
And here comes Dig once again. It's going to be Emelito that finds it. Spraying through the wood, and Dig are coming through. Looking strong right now with these superior weapons. Ultimately, Stephanie just so confident up high with that Vandal. In comes Thea from the back as well, and that's the wrap. Stephanie finishing it off with the paint shells. A 9-3 first half. Sorry, 9-3? 10-2. 9-2. Sean, I can't count. Numbers on. It's not working for me.
Look, Dan, I'm not judging you, man. You got books behind you. I got frog pillows behind me, okay? You're like,
Nice.
You know, I can't judge you over here. Ooh, Flori's really having a rough one on the jet, too. The only duelist on the squad. Oh, you really hate to see it.
Tough, man. It's the warm-up match. Much like it is the warm-up for you and I, as we haven't casted together for quite some time.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know my numbers. It's a tough one out here. But we've got this last round of the first half here. Shopify Rebellion looking to try to get something more going into that second half. Get that third round. Give them a fighting chance. And Dig a little bit more passive this time around. Not really pushing too heavily towards A lobby control. Playing pretty passively across C and B as well. Looks like they're really feeling those B pushes, and they're just giving up all that space.
It's so funny watching the dog try to go up there. It's actually really difficult. I do it too sometimes.
A dog is not Crufts ready. That might be a British reference, actually. I don't know if anyone knows what Crufts is in the States.
I've got your trail.
Ooh,
It's a dog show.
I've never heard of Crufts, but that is a huge opening pick. Getting that on Rain right there. The retake is going to be weak on the C site, and they're going to lose it.
Ooh, Thea is in a committed position, but this is where... Oh, no! Oh, no! Thea and Sholiana able to make things very difficult. The Hunter's Fury again, causing so many issues, getting the spike planted. All that delay. Han looking for the res, though. Still a chance here. Sholiana, Emily, the last players standing here in this 2v4. So good recovery coming through from Shopify Rebellion, looking for this third round and looking good for it as well, as the retake attempt is about to come through. And that that's a unfortunate timing for Laurie falling into that one. But there goes the lockdown as well. And you talked about it before, Sean. This delay is just going to make things really awkward here for Dig.
I think they needed to get half during this lockdown, but they can't. They don't have time, and then now they have to wait. 3 people at long, no smokes, no controllers are alive here.
Phoenix all up.
Oh my goodness.
Player standing.
Oh, there's just not enough time, Aaron. It's going to be a 3rd round coming through, and that is what you want to see. Flatful getting the kill right at the end. So it's been a tough first half, but you know, this is a game of 2 halves, and you know, the attacking side, default just wasn't quite working out. We saw a great defense from Dig, but that can absolutely go the other way around as well.
Yeah, this could easily turn on its head. I typically would favor the attacking side on Haven, but it is such a snowbally game. You know, if you can get the lead like Dignitas did, winning the key rounds, you can easily flip any half. Like you know, all it takes is winning pistol, and then if you win the bonus, that's fantastic. But doing what Dig did, where you lose pistol, then win the next, is another way to shore up your economy. So I think this is where it starts, though. If you're on Shopify Rebellion, you need this pistol.
Well, we'll see what they can do. Dig are going for that heavy C push. They've left their Cypher back. Thea is just waiting and spawn right now to catch any players and try to find a lurk timing. And that could be dangerous. We'll go back to Thea in a moment as we see Dig managing to plant that spike down. And Thea will actually find a catch. Just barely survived. Great trade from Panini coming through. And it's going to be a pretty decent start here for Shopify Rebellion. 4 versus 3 as they try to break their way forward into the site. Rain at the back of the site, though. Will there be a timing here for Rain? There goes the flick's good. Emily as well. Able to get 1-2. And it's just back and forth here. It's all up to Rain. You talked about Rain's abilities, and it's going to need every last bit of aim here to try to win this one. But the wrap comes through from Shopify Rebellion, and the defuse is theirs as well.
Oh, the RNG of the burst was not on her side right there. She got that initial dink, and everyone just feels the bloodthirst at that point. You just know she's repeaking, going for it one more time. Oh. That could have gone her way. That could have gone her way. If she gets that frag on the left side site person, she wraps the site, and it becomes so difficult at that point.
All right, Sean. So like one checkbox is ticked. Piss around ticked. Now I mean, you set it up earlier.
Back, Dan.
The next one is the bonus.
It's not it. What the? Oh my goodness. Dig is just trying to put him out.
I love this. Just make it as hard as possible. Just every single round. Break any kind of confidence just immediately. I love this.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen this. The attackers on these maps, if they plant the spike, they can buy Spectre half shields on this round, and it's such a toss-up.
Oof, Laurie with the Marshall. This is going to be a tough one to get that activated. Back sight at those Rangers. KP wrapping around. Oh, can't deny the spike one in time. Oh, no. Okay, Rain did actually go down there. So great catch on Rain. And there's the lineups for the shock darts. That's going to cause problems as well. Another shock dart coming through. Can they get it halfway? Not quite. Emily trying to get the damage in. And it's happening. Stephanie finding some frags at the back, capitalizing from the distraction in the front. And it's going to be that tap again. Oh! Emily takes down 2. Have to come off the spike. It's up to Panini now. Able to trade out onto Thea. The 1v1 against Emily, though. It's going to be a tough one. The paranoia comes through. Has to try to get this diffused. Oh, there's just no time, though. And there goes the peak from Emily. And there goes the round. The force buy is good. And that's good. That's a real feels bad moment for Shopify.
Yeah, that's a brutal round to lose for Shopify. I think they needed the Sage Wall for sticking the spike right there, or they needed some pressure flanking through, whether it be from C or Garage or through A. It just seemed so one-dimensional in the retake, and Dig was just dumping abilities, on that B choke point, and they could never stick the spike.
It's a rough one. It's a real rough one. Shopify Rebellion, though, definitely not out of it by any means. We've got the Spectres coming through, the Judge on KP as well. So a lot of firepower here to be used. No forward control early on, though, in terms of Shopify Rebellion. And much like Shopify Rebellion were doing, we're seeing, Dig actually throwing that deep dark cover on C as well as part of the default. And it looks like they're gravitating towards that C site.
Yeah, and Rain's going to paranoia through the right side site. Panini's definitely getting hit by this. Oh, she won't even get a chance.
Now they're just pulling the trigger on this one. Oh, the flash goes. I mean, the timing there is just perfect for Laurie. That's great to see for Shopify, but there's a lot more to be done. The spike will get planted. Still at a disadvantage on the player numbers. Shopify Rebellion. And falling all the way back there to that C-long post-plant setup. Thea in B, causing problems as well. It feels like there's so much working against Shopify Rebellion on this retake. And look at Thea just taking up so much attention right now. It's so annoying.
Wow, that was so well played by her.
Ooh, Spectres.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, okay. There goes the shock dart, and all of a sudden, another shock dart kill coming through. Okay, there's not really all that much left here in the tank, and KP will get finished off, and the round will be taken by Dig as expected. Great post-plant setup there. Not a lot the Shopify Rebellion could have done.
Oh, goodness. I feel so bad for Laurie because watching her, she has taken out the Phoenix run it back at least twice. But that doesn't show up on the scoreboard, of course. So
Absolutely not.
brutal. Absolutely brutal. This is such a hard spot Shopify find themselves in. This is a must-win round. They need to win this round.
It ain't over till it's over. Oh, actually, the wall up pretty early there, but that's going to get taken out immediately. Dig pretty happy, it seems, to just sort of run their early round default here. Pressure in Garage and C-Long as well is under control. And there's the push coming through on C-Long.
Ooh.
From Panini. Oh, I love it. I love the confident play there from Panini. It's not going to work out against Rain, though. And KP actually going aggressive. Might find a timing coming up A short. It is going to be close. Oh, no. The timing was almost perfect, but then it was just the worst. That's so unfortunate.
You hate to see the worst timing possible. Hey, she waited in that corner. She might get the three-piece. But nope, nothing. And look at this. What a fake again coming in from Thea. Pulls the rotate. This is an empty C site. And we're looking at 12-4 in hand.
Yes, it's looking pretty damn good for a 12-4 indeed. We'll see if there can be any frags to be had here. Unfortunately for Dig, even if they, or rather for Shopify Rebellion, if they got some kills here, it's mostly Spectres actually. So there's not a high likelihood that they would upgrade. But
okay,
able to take a couple of kills here.
Res,
now
yeah. Will she use
Starting?
it? It would be risky.
You got to do it, man. You got to get it in there. At this point, all the high-risk plays all day. Stephanie with the rocket straight into the chest of Powerful. Definitely felt that one. And there's the 12-4. So back against the wall now, Shopify Rebellion.
Match point.
Oh, good God. This is such a rough game for Shopify Rebellion. But I have to give massive amounts of credit to Dig. I mean, they look like the better team on this map. They look better on defense and on offense now. I love how they're controlling the mid area of the map. Both teams had very different styles in the early parts of their attack half, and it looks like Diggs is more in line with the current meta.
We might actually get... Are we going to get a contact through that dark cover? I love that. They've been putting that dark cover down so many times and not hitting a timing through it, but they are looking like they're just going to go straight through it here. They have dark covers for the follow-up into that C side to take that backside control. Oh, actually, I love the wall there. The counter paranoia comes through, and Panini off the back of that, able to drop down two players. Huge frags there, holding backside. In fact, holding the whole site, and that's giving Dig pause for thought here. But surely Anna with the fadeaway two-piece, and with that, it changes everything. But again, it might turn just as quickly here because Powerful is in position to cover the rotation, and we trade. It's a 2v2. It's a race to the A site.
Sholiana is just cracking these people right now this round. Oh my God, she took out Powerful so fast. KP rotating into heaven, but this spike is going to go down before she ever gets there.
planted.
Shopify Rebellion with a chance to still keep themselves in the running here on map 1. It's going to be a tough journey, but here they go into the retake now, just taking site control, clearing as much space as they can.
No way. He
Still
still
with some time.
The Sova has a drone.
But here comes they're just going for the stick here. There goes Thea, though. Just a double. Great transfer from Thea. And that's going to be 13-4. Dig opening it up, Sean, with a very, very good look on Haven.
Wow. What a map by Dig. Like, hats off to them. The Cypher play, the Sova play was phenomenal. I thought Emily did a great job on Phoenix. She got a lot of juice out of the kit. And then Stephanie clearly had tons of impact with the showstopper and her utility kills throughout the game. I mean, even Rain was showing up. Every player from Dignitas showed up in this game. And yeah, we're definitely eating our words, Dan. Our traitor selves.
Yeah, I feel like what are we doing? What are we even doing? I don't know. But yeah, Breeze is coming up, and I feel like that's the best case right now for Shopify Rebellion. But with that said, it is time to hit up a quick break, and then you can rejoin us for more action here at VCT Game Changers.
Show me what you got. Back down, up, back down, back up. 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 Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God. Ain't no reason to back down, so step it up. God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Verizon VCT Game Changers presented by Dignitas. And we just saw Dignitas do the opposite of what the guys said. Wait, this way. That's that caster curse. But, we know that Dignitas is pretty strong on Haven, so let's talk about it, guys. Where were these impactful moments that was so dominant for Dignitas here.
I think early on in the game, Dig just had a really, really good idea of what Shopify Rebellion was trying to do, particularly pistol, the C stack, and then going into the first gun with the A stack. I mean, they were just all over it. This B round was huge out of Sholiana. I mean, there was just so many plays where it looked like Dig was ahead on the rotations on their defensive half, which probably goes into the fact that they did their research, right? This is their map pick. The teams have recently played against each other, and they looked super prepared here.
Yeah, it was really difficult to be in Shopify Rebellion's position for sure, because I think Diggs did such a good job of actually, like, you know, just changing their setups as well. Like, they had stuff that was working, but they didn't say, oh, this is working, we'll just keep doing it and wait for Shopify Rebellion to like find an answer. It's like, actually no, they're switching the Cypher setups, they're playing retake setups, they're changing their timings on the defense. They're even running the same defenses, but just like switching up the timings on whether they push A long or A short. So I think, yeah, Dig did such a great job with just a very well thought out defense. And as Sean said, I think, you know, winning those rotations, always knowing where to place utility, that's just half the battle on the defense. The rest is hitting your shots, and I mean, we saw that they did that pretty well too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I just also wanted to give credit to Emily for moving Thea around. I mean, we mentioned it a little bit on the cast, but she was moving from A to B to C. I mean, it was just, she was all over the map on that Cypher. Her presence with the trips in Garage and B literally won them 3 or 4 rounds in itself, let alone the A-holds.
And that's huge, right? I mean, because here's the thing, is Dignitas has stuck with this composition for a long time. So they didn't change anything up much other than, as you just mentioned, the way that they move their agents around the map. So a little bit of trickery on the Cypher end. And then you've got Shopify Rebellion. Talk about that a second. They actually swapped a few of their agents, maybe deciding or thinking it was going to be a leg up because they didn't have any odds on that composition perhaps. But it looked like maybe it just, because it wasn't something they were super accustomed to. We talked about Lori being on Raze, but she went back to Jet. So there was that Jet we were kind of mentioning out at the beginning, but it actually didn't net them much value, did it?
Did it, damn.
Yeah, it was tough. It was real tough. They struggled to find the opening picks and just really get that Jet value for sure. I think that kind of plays into what we were talking about how convincing Dig were tactically in winning the early rounds map control. And then also, like, because of this and because of all those flawlesses we saw that Dig get, they had a really huge advantage on the ultimate economy as well. And every time we saw there'd be a good chance for Shopify Rebellion to try to play a post plant to maybe outmaneuver Dig in some way, the Hunter's Fury comes in. Like, there's so much utility that came in to just delay the plant, and then that created a situation where Shopify Rebellion missed their timing, and then they're at a disadvantage in the post plant. So again, just more credit to Dig for just playing the delay game super well as well.
Yeah, they seemed like absolutely on point. Sorry, no, I think we've got just a little delay here, so I apologize. I'm gonna give you your moment. What were we gonna say, Sean?
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, their stall tactics on those spike plant rounds were huge. I mean, you could see the couple rounds Shopify Rebellion won were in large part due to the Killjoy ult going down post plant. Like, but they could never really find themselves in those scenarios to get that to happen. And Dig did such a good job of stalling out the site hits and really never allowing Shopify Rebellion to feel comfortable in the sites.
Yeah, and we definitely saw that go down. So hopefully that's not going to deter Shopify from their mental in this moment, because, you know, you don't want to go down in that fashion out the gate. This is maybe a little bit of nerves coming into the beginning of this whole entire event. They're the first matchup on the main stream here that we'll be watching. So let's take a look, though. Now we're going to be moving into Breeze, and that is Shopify Rebellion's map pick. And as I said previously, they've been working on some things on this map. So if they're going to turn it around, it's going to be Breeze that they're going to do it on. So in knowing what you just saw out of Dignitas, could they be able to stop whatever Shopify is going to be bringing?
Oh, I mean, the Dig players are hitting shots right now. And I think Breeze is such a spread out map that there's going to be a lot of one-on-ones. Now, with that said, if you're going to pick this map, you probably have really good agent synergy. And if you're not picking this map, you probably don't, right? Like, this is a very, very strategic map. There's 6 entrances to defend on your defender side. So you're going to have to like maybe sage wall something and ignore that and then pick up something else for a little bit and then rotate around. It's such a communication heavy map. And I think because of the fact that Shopify Rebellion picked this, I heavily favor them, even though they got blown out on that first map.
Yes. Well, let's see just how, if Shopify Rebellion can bring this back. Guys, I'm going to give it over to you right now. Let's get it.
Thank you, Lucy. Yeah, this is a great place to bring yourself back in the series, and I know you love composition, Sean, so I'm gonna let you nut out on this Agent Select screen.
Oh, I love the Sky pick. I'm not sure if I agree with the Sova pick on this map. I just don't think he has the value. The Viper is a must. I don't know if I like the Omen over there on Dig. They would have to pair it up with Astra. Yeah, they have to run this Astra with Omen. Otherwise, that's not possible. I have to heavily favor Shopify Rebellion on this map, given their comp. Sky, Viper, Sage are pretty much S tier on this map in my eyes. And having the trio on that squad, I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about these comps, Dan? Like, I have to heavily favor them.
I mean, you know, we kind of mentioned it before, you know, there's one thing about playing into the meta, understanding, you know, where that is, but the other thing is the execution. So, I mean, definitely looks good on paper. And, you know, but at the same time, Dig does have that fragging capacity. And as you mentioned already, synergy is required. So it was a rough start for Shopify Rebellion. This is a good place to come back, but they do also have to you know, show to us that they're able to kind of hit their stride and play their game. I feel like if Dig are hitting as hard as they were, and if they just find a couple things that work, it doesn't have to be that they have an expansive game plan. You know, even if they're not as well versed on this map or the meta on this map, it really is just enough to win the right rounds and to have enough confidence behind your shots to kind of make things very difficult. So I'm still I mean, I don't know if I know what I'm talking about here, Sean. I'm kind of leaning towards Dig here, even though on paper this doesn't look great for them, especially given the fact that on paper as well, you know, Shopify Rebellion has been looking to play this map as much as possible.
Oh!
All right.
What a push!
Just straight out, straight in there. Looking pretty good here. Let's see what else can be answered back. You know, the craziness of a pistol round does now devolve into this 2v2 that we're seeing.
I just saw Trailblazer frag. Did you see that,
I
Dan?
mean,
The dog literally killed someone.
My brain didn't comprehend it, Sean. So it's. But we'll see what can be done here now as we get the switch up towards B. They're in a really good spot here. I mean, you love to be the attackers in this position, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and look how big the map is, right? Like, the rotate coming into B, think about all of the things that Shopify Rebellion is going to have to clear out on this rotate. And KP isn't regrouping with Flowerful for the heal. He wants to go on, or she wants to go on the flank all by herself. So here's the regroup. Okay, they needed this regroup. They needed the heal coming in. And now we have a 2-on-2 with one flash on KP. That's what we need to look out for.
And through Elbow, making their way forward, seeing what they can find. So many spots to clear. Almost these 50-50 position, but isolating Thea now puts a lot of pressure onto Emily. He's going to have to hit some stunning shots here. There's one, down to 27. KP in a great position to finish it off, and that's exactly what happens. And there we go. Shopify Rebellion pick up that very key pistol. But again, Sean, given the damage that we've seen and the spy plant, are we going to see a force spy coming through here from Big?
I don't know. Breeze is such a different map. KP. And I said that bird was important. It gave the info that Thea was in that area, right? Because the sky flashes let you know when they blind people. So that was such a vital piece of utility in that retake. We do see the rebuy. We see it. How on earth are they going to hit a site right now in Breeze with these Spectres? Long range. Lori is just going to be teeing off. Look at her. She's top site. Ooh.
Off the pyramids. That's not going to connect.
And this what's happening.
And the trade comes through. Just like trying to fight over this A control here is going to be a tough one, but it looks like Rain's going to be able to gain some ground here by the pyramids. Able to get that plant down as well. 3 versus 3 post plant. They're in a pretty good position, although this is contested. They are able to fall back. Rain unable to fall back. So leaving it up to Shirley and Stephanie, both of which were fantastic on Haven. Oh, the drone comes through to follow up with the flash as well. It's looking great here. Powerful finishing off Stephanie just down to Shirley Anna, and that seems pedestrian for Flowerful as well as the defuse comes through. And it's a good start from Shopify Rebellion now. 2-0 to kick things off.
Yeah, but I am worried Lori is not finding the early success that I think she needed to have for confidence. I mean, she's 2-2 right now, but these A hits are feeling a little bit overwhelming watching from her point of view. So this is a big round in my opinion if you're on that jet, because I want my duelists to be very confident. I want them to taking duels, and that's why I really liked seeing about the pistol round is they tried to get her active, they tried to get her pushing that A short position. And again, she's going to be playing aggro in mid. I like how Shopify is switching things up right now. Ooh, the cheeky one-way.
And so the mid looks well and truly under control right now for Shopify Rebellion. And Diggs, it's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do here. It's showing some pressure towards that B site. So that said, we've got this forward push from Lori. Oh, beautiful. That's what we want to see from Lori. Fantastic work. Gets a third out of that. That is a good result. The Sheriffs will do some damage here, so it's not over just yet. Stephanie and Sholiana, again, the last two standing here for Dig, looking to make this as painful as possible. Shopify Rebellion, got to be careful here. Does look like it's under control. Just Sholiana left now with that Sheriff. Sholiana was coming up huge on Haven. Oh, this is... Can we get one more? Oh, there we go. Sholiana, that's just gross.
Oh, that is a huge round from Lori. I said she needed the confidence, and yeah, she came up in spades right there. That was very well played by her, and now she gets the Blade Storm coming into this first gun round. This is a massive round. I'm curious to see if Shopify Rebellion keeps this aggression going on. And they pushing into A shots like that is wild. But no, this is definitely a passive setup. I can see Viper lining up the retake wall. I said it in the early analyst-esque area, but I don't know how you take the A site without Viper as your controller. You have to drop a lot of utility.
Oh, I see the Seekers coming through here from KP, but Dig able to defend that quite nicely. Going aggressive with some of these Spectres. It's looking like a rough one, at least the start here. Nice denial, though. That's a fantastic amount of value coming through. I'm trying to follow up with that Hunter's Fury. Not going to find it. So that's two ults effectively not really getting much value. So despite Shopify Rebellion being down a player, they're in good they're in good stead here. On with this flank as well. Finding the timing down mid again. And Cosmic Device going to come through here, but it does feel like Shopify Rebellion are really in control of the situation.
Oh, Dig needs this round, Dan. Wasting 3 ults like this. And look at this. Oh, what a find by Rain.
Panini straight back in there, though, as well. The flick is good, man. Shopify Rebellion really connecting these headshots right now, but it's Panini against Elite. Elite with full HP at the moment and shields, looking to find that next engagement, playing the pillar. And it's all a game of timing and angles, and it's Elite to win that game this time around. Dig said it was a must-need round, and they're going to find it.
Yeah, but would you look at this? Look at what Shopify Rebellion is working with on this round. They're going to force up into this round. They have so many ults. I believe they have a Viper ult, a Sage ult. Lori has the Blade Storm. And this is going to be an incredibly difficult round for Dig. Their economy is in tatters. They barely won that round, winning a one-on-one. And you can see the tack timeouts coming in. This is such an important round to see how this map plays out. It is an attack-sided map. I mean, it's so spread out, and there's so many options for the attackers. This has to be an attacker side. I know this is the first match I've seen played on it, but it has to go attacker sided just based on how it's spaced out and the seesawing between the sides and just bleeding people out and waiting for the utility. I think if Shopify Rebellion wins this round, the game will be very comfy for them.
Yeah, it feels like a map where mid control is definitely a really interesting dynamic. I mean, we already have seen it get abused by Shopify Rebellion. It's finding a good timing with that control to get a flank that just blows up the round.
Yeah, you're so spread out between A halls, the mid door, the A entrance. So that's 3 entrances to A, and then you have to deal with B elbow, B main, and the nest in mid. So I mean, there's a lot of things to cover if you're on defense. Oh,
Laurie coming alive, and that is the Jet stuff you want to see. Premium Jets business. So you're 4v5, Sean, right at the beginning as the attackers. You've got some mid-control. I was just about to ask you what they should do next, but it looks like they're showing us here.
yeah, like I said, the map is so big. There's so many entrances, and you can see Thea's taking advantage of that. She's in the nest, and that's one of the 6 places. So you can see everyone right now on Shopify Rebellion is kind of just floating around. They're trying to realize where the hit's coming from. Oh, those Seekers are going to open things up big time for Thea.
I love this great forward pressure with the Seekers, with the flashes. Rain able to defend somehow, taking down KP. Thea will go down as well, so trading out here, but the numbers are favorable for the Shopify Rebellion. That said, Spike is planted. Dig have set the clock on Shopify Rebellion as they start to try to find that retake, trying to find a way to get this Spike diffused, and Laurie's taking up those angles. Stephanie finds a great timing. The shock dart comes through to punish that position. Now we've got Panini working on the flank here as well. Looks pretty damn good, but there's a flank on a flank. Surely, there it goes. Shodiana takes the trade. And here come the lineups, but the defuse is coming through. Able to have plenty of time to dodge that one. It's got to come down to the shots. And Shodiana with the reposition is causing problems. There's that Sova util. Just, every single bit of util used perfectly there by Shodiana to close the round. What a clutch.
Ooh. What a clutch from Sholiana. She is having incredible value on the Sova on both maps so far.
Yeah, Sean.
The late round is just, what? How dare you?
Hey, man, you call it out the Sova. I just gotta set the record straight for Sholiana.
Man, she has the nerd lineups and everything. Just kidded to death, that last player.
Yeah, it feels bad. When you're up against the full kit Sova after that much time has been played in the round.
Push again.
Yeah, down to the pistols. Oh, looks like a good start though. Firefall able to find the pick onto Stephanie, so starting off with a numbers advantage. But they have their attackers. They have the run of the map effectively. Can go any direction they want together. We've got Thea already clearing the back of the B site, so good info there.
Dan, the Sova stayed by mid. She is ready to ult this spike plant. Maybe giving them a 5-on-3.
Spike planted.
It's going to come, I believe, for the post plant. Is she going to use it on this round?
There's a lot on Sholiana here with this crossfire setup, and there's the flank coming through to deal with Sholiana. So now they're able to get that Vandal as well, and it's starting to look very dangerous indeed here for Dig, holding onto things. Can Rain make the difference with the Spectre? Able to get 2. Out comes the pistol. The jump's not good, but KP certainly is, and it's Dig all day in this round now as KP is trying to find her way to these fights, but I don't think Emily and Thea are going to give anything here. The dark cover goes down, and that's going to be that. Dig pick up the round. They tied up 3-3.
Very well played by Dig right there. You can see Thea takes the opportunity to push deep into spawn because of the fact that Rain is calling how aggressive this flank is. Sholiana dying in the back of the head in the lineups. I think that is such a pivotal play by Thea to push deep into spawn and take that ground. Otherwise, this retake was definitely happening.
This is relaxing, I gotta say.
Yeah, wait till we get the music. Ooh,
That's
a crab.
Krabby the Crab.
Ah,
Krabby the Crab
Krabby the
makes an
crab.
appearance. Well, back into the action after that moments of relaxation in the spa.
Joke's over.
Maybe with the pressure here again, liking so far what Shopify Rebellion is offering up here in this mid pressure, but we get the Cosmic Divide going just for a straight push into that B site, using the run it back to just safely clear all of those positions very quickly to allow an effective post plant here for Dig. Setting up the Astra util as well. This is going to be a good look post plant for Dig. They've got every setup they want.
Here.
Oh, are they going to be aware that KP's in already?
Maybe not. Ooh, Stephanie's going to go down. Laurie's now causing a distraction. Now the question is, are the Dig players going to find the right timings on these peaks? The pressure's coming through. Hunter's Fury now for that post plant to get them off that spike defuse. Dig delaying. They are losing players here. Laurie will go down, but Panini is good on the trace right now. Fantastic work, but time is of the essence here. That spike is getting closer and closer to detonation. There's just no time now. Emily able to take down Panini as she tries to escape, but to no avail. And Dig pick up another round. So pretty back and forth game here, Sean. We open things up looking real good for Shopify Rebellion, but it is looking like Dig are finding their comfort now.
Yeah, the Astra ults on this map look very, very strong. The way that Dig is using the Astra ult to pair with Emily's run it back to clear out this B site while two people stay back, guard the flank, it seems really, really strong. I'm gonna say that. That's how they're capable of winning these very impactful rounds. But on the other side, we haven't seen Panini use her ult yet. That Viper's Pit, I think it could be used on these retakes. And I think Flowerful hasn't had any opportunities to res because the frags are so deep in the B site that there's not really any opportunities. So the difference in ults between the teams is, in my eyes, what has changed. And once Dig got those ults, the rounds really started to snowball in their favor.
So we'll have to see if this tactical timeout can yield any benefit here for Shopify Rebellion, as they will be in a position here where they need to maybe find something a little bit different to spice things up. I mean, what would you like to see out of Shopify Rebellion that is some kind of a mix-up, some kind of an adjustment, Sean?
I think maybe moving either the Viper or the Sage to this B site just to lock it down, right? Just leave a smoke and then double molly if you feel the hit coming. If a Sage is there, wall it and then double slow it. Basically just lock down the B site, because I don't think Dig has proven they can take A yet. And until they've proven they can take this A site, I think you lock down B with your utility players.
We'll have to see if your prophecy comes to fruition. But for now, at least, Laurie's going to get taken out in a... I mean, we've all been on the receiving end of that. It's not nice. But Han able to find a push here. But Rain looking for it. So Dig pretty cognizant of all of the possible pitfalls and having good responses to them. No timing there for KP as well. And it's just a straight clear up, or clean up, I should say, at this point. And looks like we're about to go to a 5-3 scoreline. Flowerful trying to get away with this Spectre. Would be nice to find an upgrade. And will be denied ultimately by Thea. So there it is, the 5-3 scoreline.
Yeah, I mentioned it in the early game. I think Shopify's comp right now is going to net them quite a few attack rounds. The one thing that scares me, though, is Dig might have some crazy plans with these flashes. Both the Phoenix Flash and the Sky Flash are very strong when going through a Viper wall. And we could see a scenario where that could come into fruition later on in this game. But for now, you can see the Viper has moved over to B. She's lining up the one-way right now on this rock. This is an A hit right off the bat.
Love the change of pace here. Trying to throw a wrench into the works here. Play against the expectation of the defenders in Shopify Rebellion. But great delay with the Ice Orbs here is actually buying a lot of time for the rotation for a good defense. But just now it's up to hitting the shots. Oh, straight in the face with the Trailblazer. And now it's going to be rather difficult to hold on to anything. In fact, it seems like there's nothing to be, no hands to hold on to anything here. It's just Panini left. And that was a really good push, given the fact that they got slowed down so much by the defender util as well.
Yeah, that was brutal. The Viper moves off of A, and right away, it's an A hit. And the Sage did everything she could to deny it. I thought once Once Stephanie threw out the last flash, the last bird, I was like, oh man, this could be a really rough situation for Dig. They've wasted almost all of their utility. But then the Trailblazer comes in and hits Flowerful. And once that happened, it opened up everything. It opened up Thea's lurk through A halls and able to find 2 in the middle of a hit like that. The round was immediately over when she found 2. Wow, they've proven they can hit the A site, Tam.
There's proof.
I'm
Tangible
nervous.
evidence.
I'm nervous now because this half has turned so fast.
Yeah, it really has. Like, it's kind of crazy. It felt like, you know, one of the things we wanted to see as well, you know, just seeing Jet get activated, you know, seeing Laurie, you know, hitting a stride was something that we wanted to see, and we got that like immediately in the first 3 rounds. It's looking so good, but that mid aggression that was so successful for Shopify Rebellion has kind of eased off quite massively.
Wait,
and
that's KO's knife.
oh,
What the lord?
interesting.
What's going on here?
Question mark? Question mark?
I'm too dumb to figure this out. Someone needs to
Yeah.
message me. Tell me what's
Someone
going
will
on.
make a YouTube video. It's fine. Laurie picking up the knives here, able to pick up a frag with that too. Not a bad result, dashing out of harm's way, but into a flash. The up drop will not save Laurie. Great pursuit there from Emily, just so ready for it. Fantastic work, and just like that, 3 players left against 4. Now just 2. And maybe soon 1, because you see KP there. He's able to dodge rain for the moment. Sometimes I feel like this is an episode of Sesame Street, I gotta say, Sean, when I'm just like, there's 2 and now there's 1. It's just like, I'm just counting numbers at this point. I feel like I don't feel very, very good at my job when I'm doing that, but you know, it's gotta be done. I do it so you don't have to.
Yeah, I like it when you do it. It sounds better with an accent. So. Or do I have the accent? Who has the accent?
I don't know, man. I'm in London again right now, and it's like I was talking to a Londoner. He's like, "Yeah, it sounds like your accent sounds American." And I'm like, "What? How is that possible?
One of us.
Is it true?"
Yes, you're one of us. You've lived in California for too long. Man.
Oh no. Oh no. Oof, I don't know. This is a identity crisis for me, but you know, going back into the match, this is looking rather difficult for Shopify Rebellion. We want to see them eke out another couple rounds. We're going into a buy round. Laurie's picked up that operator and is holding down the B site on the lonesome.
And we have the Astral and the run it back. We've seen this B hit before. Is it going to be the same exact one? I believe it's going to be.
I love this. Laurie in a great spot there. Will whiff against the run it back, but so much distance between Laurie and the oncoming attackers here. Able to get some resets on that engagement, but still not finding the frags. Out comes the Cloudburst. Out comes the dash to get out of harm's way, and not with any frags here, but KP finding a timing. Oh, that's really good work there. Shopify Rebellion in a really good position here now. They have created a spot where there's no post-plant positioning. Digger just stuck on the site, backs against the wall, against 5 players now. This is looking increasingly worse and worse for Rain and Emily. They've got to try to fight now. That's all they can do, and it's not going too well. Dick will get taken out here. Great retake comes through. The same set piece does not work again on that B site.
Cool. That was a necessity. Winning that round, I think, you know, stopping the bleeding. They lost 7 straight, I think, right? They were up 3-0, and they found themselves down 7-3. So going into the half with any kind of success like that, I mean, in my eyes, if they win this last round, they're still heavily favored. 8-4, it's anyone's game at that point. So this is a huge round right here for Shopify Rebellion. They put Viper back at A, and it looks like Dig is going to go into an A hit here. Let's see if they have that same success on the A Halls lurk.
Revealing area.
Ooh, spicy little arrow.
I have the spike.
Oh, okay.
Well, there is a res, Dan, and you can see the Sage is running there.
Very timely res indeed. And I love the pressure here. It's burning all this defender util. There's no flank through mid. It kind of reminds me of Icebox A attacks at the moment. And oh, with that said, we are getting the switch up coming through here. Fia able to defend in the halls there just for a moment. Emily trying to find space onto the site. I love the cheekiness of just trying to catch that rotation. But it's a 2 versus 4 as we see the sprint from Stephanie and Sholiana into that B site. But maybe beating them to the punch here. We've got KP holding the angle, looking to try to slow this one down. There comes that blinding light. And Laurie also working angles here in onto this, isolating these duels. Stephanie wins that battle, though. And with that, the Seekers come out. And now, all of a sudden, you actually might like Dig's chances. Sholiana. Oh, no. The knife comes out. And Panini is more than ready for it. But still a chance here from Stephanie. Isolates another frag. Finds the... Oh, okay. It started to get really interesting there. But KP shuts it down. And that's going to be a wrap. And this is what we needed to see. Shopify, they pick up the 5th round at the end of the first half.
Oh, KP goes over. Sky diff? Sky diff? Sprays the wall.
Diff. Okay, so Sean, like you said earlier, they are set up with their Compass Spatula to have a pretty big attacking half. They got 5 rounders. I feel like that's enough.
I think so as well, but there's a lot of cool things you can do with Astra on defense that I've yet to see in my ranked games, right? You can control that A shop area with a gravity well at the very start of the round on this patch. And with a Phoenix, I think they could farm that orb. And now, it's not common that you would see that orb, taken by the defenders, but with this combo of agents on this patch, I think it's possible. I think they might go for it some rounds. But you can see instead they opt for the gravity well outside of A main. How on earth are they going to stop this A hit?
We shall have to let the action give us the answers that we seek. Loving the mid aggression. I always think this is so awesome from the defenders. Gives you fast rotations. You get to take the initiative. You can play retake with it. And there's so many entrances as well to try to set up a retake from mid with... So good positioning post-plant here, coming through from Shopify Rebellion.
Oh, this
trading
is a
some of
big
these kills.
fight, Dan.
Hold on to the cave. Han, wins it with 4 HP as well. And there's another fight to be had, but the trade comes through from Elite. Rin dropping down now. There's the right clicks. Betrayed by the right clicks, but Shopify Rebellion looked really good for it regardless, and that is the key pistol collective. So that's both pistols on Breeze now, taken by Shopify Rebellion.
Oh, man, and you don't really want to force buy on that defender side. It's not the same. It's not the same. You don't get that spike additional money bonus, and you can see they're going to opt to save here. And that's going to... We're potentially looking at an even score line on an attack-heavy map. So things are kind of shifting back now to Shopify Rebellion's favor.
Going for that play towards the A side very quickly indeed. I like it. Just keep it simple. Don't leave too much to chance against the pistols. Take the fights together, get the spike planted. With that said, an opening kill off the Frenzy might make things a little interesting here, but Han is holding down that cave position, so still lots of space to work with for Shopify Rebellion. Some good damage coming through here, though, as this attack onto the side is actually gaining some ground at this point. Thea collecting the Spectre. Some time to work with. The drone goes out. That's going to tag Thea. That might give a nice advantage here for Flowerful.
Wow, the patience
binding his time. Pressure comes through. Flowerful. You talked about the patience. Didn't go for the easy frag. It was on a plate. But Flowerful just waited for the perfect moment. Wasn't tricked.
That's discipline, because I think Rain would have she definitely would have traded the frag if Flowerful swung for the backside player. So the round would have at worst been a one-on-one for Dig. So the fact that she played it patiently right there definitely was smart. I don't know if I have that kind of patience in me, Dan.
Yeah, same. I mean, if you don't, what chance in hell do I have? I mean,
I love these Sova lineups. Oh my god, I feel like I see a new Sova lineup every single round.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the exciting things about new maps. Sova is like one of the in terms of lineups. The arrows are so fun with the bounces and everything. It's always fun to see what people come up with. But with that said, we are getting a push coming in from Thea here. Down the hall, looking to catch her timing perhaps. With the Phantom in hand, this could be devastating there. Misses the opportunity.
I've got your trail.
That's okay, though. And that paranoia is certainly going to make... I mean, I think the sound cues are absolutely there here right now. It's a huge switch up, very fast pace into this B side. They're sprinting for it. And we get the Cosmic Divide put down as well. So we saw this from Dig. But what can Dig do to retake it? Or a Viper wall even.
Yeah, that's what I mean. These Viper walls and the slow red on their side really makes you, debate the fast retake. It's not going to happen. This is going to be a 5-on-5 retake.
From a weaponry perspective, it's not looking too bad on these longer ranges here from Dig, but they have to find the positions to work with, and they're having to gain ground. Stephanie trying to create that ground here. Rain will be opened up for a frag, but after all is said and done, these trades, we get back to a 2v2. Thea looking for a timing, knows someone is nearby, but again, it all comes down to timing, and this time it is with Han. And that is... And Brown going to Shopify Rebellion, actually taking the lead here after, being behind for some time.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the tell was on speeding up the B-hit. Maybe it was the drone pushing through up top halls. But once the paranoia comes through, you can account for 2 players in those A halls. And like I said, 6 entrances. If you can account for 2 players in one of them, you should roll immediately to the other side of the map. And that's exactly what Shopify Rebellion did. So you can see the difficulties in playing the defender side just from watching that round alone.
Get the Blade Storm popped here, coming through very fast through these choke points into this A side attack. Liking the pacing coming through. Laurie taking no prisoners with those knives. Will actually run out, and the trade comes through, but what's more important is how much space was gained for the team by that opening push there from Laurie, and it's looking pretty good. Panini as well. Great vantage point with the Vandal, and the remainder of Dig is looking kind of locked out at this point in the mid doors. It's not over just yet, though. Could be very low.
Yeah, Flowerful has the res, but I think she would want to save that for a future round.
It would be a great win if Dig kind of made the argument for that res to be burned, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case here. Flowerful playing it disciplined, as we're used to seeing, and there's the conversion. Shopify Rebellion pick it up, as expected, for the 9-7.
Dig finds himself in a really, really hard spot right now. Like I said, I don't know how you spread out across the map with this composition on Breeze. We saw they had a very unique attack half, and they definitely were able to be successful. If they won pistol in that half, they would have blown out Shopify Rebellion in the first half. But they didn't. And now they find themselves in must-win territory on the defensive side of Breeze. And I don't know what they're going to do to kind of push through. Sova has an Odin. I have seen recently someone just unload the Odin through that A shop area. It is the most annoying thing ever. So I can't wait to see if that's how the Odin's used. I'm hoping it is, because I need to know the counter, Dan.
It is just so demoralizing when a server buys an Odin, and especially when a map is still pretty new. I mean, who knows what kind of tech we're about to see. Shodiana pulling it out, of course, and it's actually a somewhat slow start here from Dig in terms of the ground gain. It's actually...
It's happening, Dan. He's going to do the spam. Oh my god. Is Laurie just going to get owned?
Revealing area.
Oh, please. No.
Sean, you're a monster.
Come back.
You just want people to suffer as you've suffered. Not going to happen. Not this time, at least. And the rumbling in the distance of the Odin was heard as well. Shopify Rebellion, we're off to B then. I love the bassy rumble in the distance.
Oh, Thea's gonna
Hunter's
get
Fury
this,
coming out.
this frag. This is free. And the fake is obvious now.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, though, they are going to use the dash. They're going to get in with those Seekers as well. Laurie just wrapping around the back of range, so it might not matter that it was so telegraphed after that engagement earlier, as we get good positioning in the post plant here for Shopify Rebellion. As Thea, though, winning that battle on the flank. That's a big win to get. That puts a lot of pressure on this post plant setup here on the side for Shopify Rebellion. They're going to have to just win these fights. And these peaks are going to have to be aggressive. And I love it. Laurie's just going for it. Gaining so much credit. It doesn't matter. KP at distance with the Vandal finding 2 quick and clean headshots. And there's the fake TP. But there's just so much here to be done by Thea. So many angles to check. And it's just not going to work out. Laurie is going to take it down. Great round from Laurie.
Yeah, without a doubt, Laurie has been a difference maker in this map. I mean, 18-14, top of the scoreboard. Coming back from that brutal first map. I don't even know if she ended the first map with a frag. But here you can see she hasn't lost an ounce of confidence. Like, she is opening up the rounds, dashing into the sites, is decisive about every peak she makes right now. And that is such a difference maker. If the Jet shells up and doesn't do those things, it's so easy to just fall to pieces in this game. So hats off to her for bouncing back.
Yeah, definitely. I just love the focus. The mental game is a real thing. Going to get a quick push on this A side once again. Oh, good defense coming through from Dig. They're doing some damage, some serious damage here. And Panini's just forced to burn the Viper's Pit to secure this spike plant and try to make sure that this doesn't go the wrong way here, because there's 3 players that we are actually going to see the Seekers coming through. That could be a great punish here, coming straight for the Viper in the Viper's Pit. That's good info there. Coming through for Dig. Stephanie able to take down Han. And there goes that flash again to get that extra bit of information. And the distraction could yield a kill here for Thea. Huge moment there for Thea, but looks like Stephanie's going to go down, so it will all be down to Thea, and there's going to be no assistance here. And just the full strength of this Viper util is going to be there, and that's just a wrap. The snake bite is going to do the damage, and that's going to be the round converted. Shopify Rebellion, they are very close to picking up map 2 here.
Yeah, Thea has been very scary on these flanks, and she almost won that round, but Panini activating the smoke inside of the Viper's Pit saves her life. It blocks the vision from Thea, and she just weasels away and drops a molly on the spike, which ends up winning the round. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Dig's still yet to find a single round on this defensive half.
And that's definitely where you can see that map comfort coming through from Shopify Rebellion, where obviously they looked a lot more comfortable in their composition and generally on both halves so far. We'll see if they can find a finish, though. It's all very well and good to get close, but you have to close. And we'll get that mid-take coming through. Good flash. And I love this different avenue of attack from Shopify Rebellion. Rain goes down in B main, and it's certainly looking difficult. You can see the confidence coming through on these fights from Shopify Rebellion, but they don't come out the better this time around. It's a 3v3 now.
Yeah, again
Seekers going forward. So much info coming through here. Flatfall goes down, leaving KP and Han to try to secure this one. Good timing for KP to take down 1, leaving it up to Elite. Ooh, tagged by the drone there. That's annoying. Oh, there's just so little to be done there. Nice finish coming through from Shopify Rebellion. 12-7. And they're looking good for that 3rd map, but Dig, what do they have to say for themselves here? Do they have even any economy?
I can't imagine they have a good buy coming out of them this round. And especially given the fact that they need to buy utility after a full gun round. So, yeah, Elite on a Spectre on a long-range map like this. Rain has 4 stars on Astra. It's not horrible. I think the buy is better than I thought it would be, and they have 2 ults to work with. How on earth did they manage to win 5 straight when they couldn't win 1 thus far?
I like how they're kind of focusing on a retake here, especially with the Hunter's Fury. I think it's definitely a good choice, and we're going to see it actually go this way. There goes the Hunter's Fury to deny that spike defuse to just get the rest of the Dig defenders into position for a retake. However, you can see that these fights again looking confident, winning them on every single angle, every single avenue for this retake, and there's just nothing left here. Show the honor against an army right now to try to keep a chance in this second map for Dig. And now the draw. Oh, God. Oh, no. It is just unwinnable. 13-7. Great recovery from Shopify Rebellion, Sean, especially considering that, okay, they got those first 3 rounds, but then we were worried for them because it started to get out of hand on that first half.
Yeah, like I said, their comp for that attack half was way, way better than Dig's. But Dig impressed me with how they coordinated the ults on their attack half. They bounced back from a 3-0 deficit. I always thought we're going down to split, and here we are in that scenario. I think both teams looked great on their own map pick, and in the past, they've both looked great on split. So I think we're in for a treat and a much closer game on the third map.
I couldn't agree more. Really looking forward to split. A map, I think, if we look at the 2 maps that have preceded it, Haven and also Breeze, I feel like there's a lot of similarities that we can kind of draw insights from, learning from what's happened on those 2 maps going into split. But with that said, it is time to throw it to a quick break, but don't go anywhere as we draw closer to the conclusion of this series.
Welcome back, everybody, from the break. Hope everyone's all hydrated and got your snacks because this is just the start of our day. We saw Dignitas versus Shopify Rebellion, where Shopify took map number 2 Breeze just before the break. So guys, here we are. And I think it was DDK that said this earlier. We started with 3 maps. Now we're down to 1. -2 equals 1. No?
I didn't say that earlier,
Not
but
exactly,
but
but
I'll take the
math
credit
thing.
though, because that sounds pretty cool.
It was
I
the
like
math
the way
thing,
you delivered that.
fun.
So
All right. Well,
it's mine
anyways.
now.
Did you guys know 3 - 2 is 1? So there we are. And we are now heading into split. But first, let's talk about Breeze. Obviously, Shopify feeling themselves on that pick of their own. And they definitely showed us. Because Dig didn't even get a map on their, or a round on their side of defensive, did they? Just kind of
No,
Shopify took it in.
They didn't. And I think that was in large part due to the Viper and just the ability to drop that Viper wall and block so many sight lines. I think she is such an important agent on Breeze, and you could really see the difference. When Dig had the Astra wall, which operates a little bit like a Viper, normal Viper wall, those rounds were much easier for them. And that's what we saw when the halves switched, is every single round the Viper wall played a big effect. And even the ult right here out of Panini, she just had so much value throughout this game.
Yeah, it was really cool to see the level of comfort from Shopify Rebellion. I think right from the get-go, it seemed like they had a better sense of where the edges can be found on this map, especially in the defense. I love just seeing right from the get-go, just seeing them pushing mid and just finding the timings on mid. And that was something that we saw that Dig, when Dig were on their defense, like they couldn't find that same abuse of that mid position, which was, I think, quite telling.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think Shopify Rebellion did a really good job of having these little quirky coordinated pushes in mid, and the pistol round through shops at A was something I had never seen yet. So they had a lot of little pushes planned for this map pick, and they, a lot like Haven, they were more prepared on the map they picked, right? So Dig was more prepared on the map they picked in Haven, and now we've seen the other side of the coin with Shopify Rebellion. Split is a map that both these teams are good on, so I don't think we'll have that kind of lopsided affair.
Yeah, well, before this graphic goes away, Lori, she turned up when it counted. I know she was struggling a little bit on map number 1, but there it is. She made up for it right there, so they could take that second round MVP of the match, of the game there. So fantastic for them. And that is going to give them some hot fire going into map number 3. Here's what we've been through so far. It's Haven, then Breeze. As the guys had said, they've gone to the chosen squad for that map. And now we're going to split, where both sides, as you said, Sean, are very strong on this. The last 2 times these 2 teams have met up, it was 1 for Dig and 1 for Shopify. So, and it was very close, guys. It'd be like 1 went into overtime, another was also super close, like 13-11, something of the sort. And so this is going to be definitely a wonderful map number 3 going into this first matchup of the day. Guys, let's find out what's going to happen.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
We're here.
you're not going yet.
You're staying with us. Yeah, you're not going anywhere. Just stay with us.
Sean, I got to ask you a question. And this actually for you as well, Lucy.
Yeah.
What do you guys like the most in terms of like the deciding map, the showdown final map in the series? Because I feel like Split is actually a pretty good map for that.
Yeah, Sean?
Ooh, I felt like Haven is my go-to for the 3rd map. I mean, typically you get close games. Split, ever since the changes have been, the map has been a little bit closer, right? Before it was so defense-sided, I felt like as a 3rd map, you would get these blowouts and it would be so lackluster. But with the changes, I think that's been tweaked a little bit. It worries me, though, that we could get a blow. Even though both these teams are so good on Split, whoever starts on defense could easily run away with this.
My opinion here is in the fact that I think Shopify had a leg up on Breeze because we just haven't seen much about it and they don't have many VODs, if any. I don't know if they've scrimmed behind the scenes with each other or anything. So that gave Shopify a huge advantage. Haven, yeah, there's a lot of VODs. Everyone's played those, as well as Split. They've played those. And now I think I fear Dignitas a little bit here because we saw what they can do on a tried and true map. Split, like you said, Sean, could go, or was it DDK saying it could be a blowout? But these 2 are really good on this map. But Dignitas seems to really just kind of wrangle it in where as needed. They stick with the same comps. I'm not sure if they're going to change it up here. They definitely work with what they know, and then they run those strats as necessary to crush their opponent. So we're going to see how this goes down for sure.
Yeah, I feel like some of the stuff we saw in Haven is helping me be a bit more dig-sided for sure. I think that this is much more of a cookie cutter map, and I feel like Dig looks super comfortable in terms of the known, which was Haven. So much more so, especially on the defense, that encourages me quite a lot. That they'll also have on Split a lot of different setups to go to, a lot of those smaller aggressions, and that they'll once again, my theory is that they'll get ahead of Shopify Rebellion on all those rotations, which is kind of hard to do on Split sometimes, but that really just depends on what Shopify Rebellion have prepared in terms of their attacking side.
All right.
Speaking of that attacking side, Dan, before we let Lucy go here, Shopify Rebellion on their attack side of Split, 9-3 against Cloud9 White. They took them out, by the way, 13-7. 10-2 against DMX. 7-5 against Dig. 4-0 against Just Breathe. And 4-4 against Dig prior to that. They ended up winning that game. And 6-6 against GX3. I mean, they're just blowing teams out on the attack side. So I'm sticking with my guns. Shopify Rebellion winning this series. I'm feeling super confident. I'm not flip-flopping.
All right. Well, we got a 1-1, guys. What's it going to be? Now is the time. Let's find out, guys.
Let's do it. And you know what? I've lost all my confidence, Sean. I was one way, I was the other way. Now I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to be a follower. I'm just going to follow you now. I'm going to just copy your prediction. Shopify Rebellion, they're gonna do this one. But we'll see. Looking at the agent select, what we can hopefully expect from this third and final map here this is an upper bracket quarterfinals matchup. So really important to win these early on and get a good run here through this tournament at this playoff stage. And from the get-go, we will be seeing Laurie switching onto that Raze. Is there anything that jumps out at you, Sean?
Nothing really. I think both teams are using their standard comps on the map, so nothing is really crazy. They're not doing anything insane. I would have been interested to see an Astra come out on Split. I think she is so powerful on this map, especially when paired with a Killjoy, or a Raze for that matter, which both teams are using. So I think we're in for a treat here. The difference again between the initiators, we have Breach on one side, we have KP playing the Sky. She's very comfortable on that Sky. I mean, tons of impact throughout the series so far. I highly doubt that changes on Split. We're probably going to see Trailblazers going up through Mail, to clear that out for the team. And on the other side, Choliana is probably going to be, fault lining all over to stop the early aggressions with the operator coming out of Lori. So Lori was activated on Breeze, but she clearly fell flat on Haven. In my eyes, this series lies on her success in finding these opening duels.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see what is going to be the result in terms of the attacking default from Dig with those fault lines, because there's just so much you can do with that in terms of that early round advantage. And obviously having a Raze as well with the Boombot is just so good at clearing space early on. So there's lots of pressure that you can do right from the get-go on the map control. And I guess, in terms of a response on the defense, Sean, from Shopify Rebellion, what is the best go-to to deal with these defaults, these early round map control attempts?
Well, I do like how they're set up right now. So they have the alarm bot at A, they have the turret holding Heaven. So Killjoy can lock down this A site solo, and then at B they have an Omen with a Paranoia chilling in the back, and they have a triple Mail setup. This is an incredibly beefed up setup over here at this B site. That's not where the early aggression's coming from on Dig.
Yeah, that early pressure shown. Oh, actually, we look at the mid push, just the proactive play. We saw this as well on the previous map from Shopify Rebellion, looking to get that early mid control on the defense. The flash going out there. Oh, good connection. Will be a heal for that eventually, but KP is looking to try to force the issue. Just really is stuck in a position where KP has to commit, and it's looking very, very good right now. These flashes are so awesome from KP, finishing off the remainder of Dig there, but they have that mid control, but they've lost the spike over towards spawn, so this has gone really weird really quickly.
KP has another guiding light, and it's just wherever she decides to use it, it's going to be pivotal. Oh.
Enemy remaining.
The ghosts are coming out in force here, but there is still one ghost here, one player left here for Dig. Emily could make the difference. It's going to be difficult to find these isolated fights once again, and great setup there to just guarantee the round. And another pistol is going to Shopify Rebellion. They've been really great on these pistols.
Yeah, that one was almost single-handedly won by KP. I couldn't believe when the Trailblazer was busted out by the frog down mid. That is such a bold play to make, and it ends up paying off. I mean, the Sage Wall comes in to save the day. The heal comes in from the Sage. You know, everything is stabilized. The second the spike went down, that was when things really flipped on its head. Look at that, breaking all of the Killjoy stuff over here at A. Killjoy mains remain in shambles.
We're looking to slow things down. I love the movement from KB here, just getting so aggressive with the Spectre. It's bold. It's very bold. And looks like it's going to work out too. At least mostly. A 2 versus 3 for Dig. They've done a good chunk of damage. They've not been able to collect any weapons. They'll quickly go for a rotation. If Dig could score a spike plant out of this as well, that would be a massive result for this bonus round from... Well, it's not even a bonus round, just the anti-eco, actually.
Yeah, and you can see Panini was initially in ropes right there, but opted to regroup with the team. I think they're just going to give up the spike plant at the B site. And that kind of puts things in a tricky situation. I know Thea and Emily don't have SMGs rolling with them. They don't have any Spectres or anything like that, but I mean, they could definitely slime into a corner. And the second they get one frag, things change so quickly.
30 seconds
So it's just that they could find a little corner to hide in and single one of them out.
Spike planted.
This is getting really interesting. I almost want to see them both run through mid or something insane, given how horribly difficult this will be to hold this spike with the weapons that they have. And here comes... Oh, I love that from Laurie. Oh, just barely misses it. Doesn't really matter too much, but satchel aggression is always fun to see. And Thea might actually be able to catch one here. Although, unfortunately, Emily is gone, and that spike is going to get defused all the way. So, looks like it will be the round for Shopify Rebellion, as expected. And, I mean, but again, 2 kills, a spike plant is certainly a great result for Dig.
Yeah, definitely a good result there from Dig. The defuse coming in from Han, building up that res early in this game. Like to see that. I think KP might have the ultimate up already on this first gun. And that's pretty big. A Sky ult on the first gun. Yeah, she has it. First gun. Wow. That's big. Flowerful's not fully investing here. They're going to use this as a bonus round. If Shopify Rebellion win this round, things are going to get real difficult today.
Oh, I love this. Both teams trying to get for that B main control, but it will be Shopify Rebellion winning it. But then the question is who expended more in terms of utility value. And I really like the response here from Dig, just immediately taking mid control. They know that it has to be controlled with very little, given how much pressure was in B main early on in the round. So Dig, perfect response. But now the question is, what do they do with this map control?
He is trying to prod again, a lot like what we saw in Breeze. Very good on the extremities of the map, playing aggressively all by herself. And that's what she's doing over here at A right now. AP is defending this off, though.
Just Theo just representing the luck. Oh, what a beautiful response. And, I mean, there it is. Just thought that the Cypher was there. Horribly mistaken Dig. Able to actually peel away one more player. Panini perhaps thinking that it was free over at Mail. But instead... Dig are just taking all of the kills. Really well done by them. And I just love how they work the map here, Sean. They, of course, lost that B main control early on. They respond by taking mid control. And then it's really ambiguous what they're doing in the eyes of Shopify Rebellion. They had no way to understand what was happening.
Yeah, you can see Shopify Rebellion had one goal right there, and that was get control of B main. And Dig was like, okay, you can take it. We're taking Mail while we're lurking A, and then once we go back to A, we're going to keep the lurk into Mail, which we got early in the round. So I really like how Dig approached that round. Like you said, they reacted super quickly to that B main control, and everything they did was just next level. KP trying to break a cam on the wall. She was trying to guess where the cam was. I can respect the effort. I can respect it.
Yeah, definitely. And that just, again, is something that it looks kind of crazy or ridiculous in some senses, but it's also the fact that Dig are representing that there's probably just a lurker there, because we're going to see, you know, Thea defaulting and just holding that position like every round, pretty much. So it's hard for Shopify Rebellion to know what's going on, and they're going to try to make a play for mid here. 3 players trying to defend from B Heaven, but it does look like Dig are in a good spot here. Of course, they've got better overall equipment. But KP, I mean, we've got the forward ISORB. Out comes the paint shots. They're going for the retake. Great counter flash coming through, and that's going to completely stuff this attempt on the defense for Shopify to take mid. What a response from Dig.
Oh my goodness. Utility fire sale right there in mid. And this lurk again by Thea. Oh. Cam gives up everything.
Oh,
You've been
wow.
literally trapped in a cage. Oh my goodness.
Oh no. That is, I have to say, like, I just respect the sheer aggression from Thea, going so deep and throwing that cam out there, so bold. But a holdout fort for the moment as KP tries to mount a defense, able to take down 1 player. Out come the flashes, so timely. Dig, again, looking really nice right now, but with that trade from Panini, there's still hope in this round for Shopify.
30 seconds left.
They make their way forward for the retake of this site. Laurie and Panini picking up 2, and now it's a 1v1, and the spike has to go down still. It will be collected backside by Stephanie, and it has to be planted. There's the wraparound down a ramp from Panini. The question is, will Stephanie find a good timing or guess right? But out comes the showstopper to try to just guarantee this. Panini doing the smart thing, not giving up the position that she's holding, and just waiting out the showstopper. Plenty of time to do it.
Stephanie read this though, Dan?
Great,
Wow.
great timing there. That's going to work out nicely for Dig.
Wow, I thought the reposition by Panini was fantastic. I thought it would be very difficult to read that she was going to be, left side A main, because the showstopper comes out, she could be hiding Heaven, she could be waiting back screens, and really nothing was cleared up by Stephanie. So she had to take a risk and went with the swing, and I mean, she destroyed her in that peak. Very well played by Stephanie.
I'm totally with you though with Panini's decision making there. Really thought that was fantastic, but unfortunately, the Shopify on the eco again. They're actually going to make a pretty aggressive play with an ice wall there on that A main position. I'm really liking the tactical synergy coming through from these teams, trying to really use everything at their disposal to get early wins in these rounds.
Yeah, it looks like Dig sells a lot towards an area with a bunch of utility, like this round on A, and then they'll evacuate that area and hit the opposite site. And this is the first time Shopify Rebellion hasn't over-rotated. Oh,
I know
what a
exactly
find.
where.
That could have gone very wrong, and maybe it still could. That's a good opening there on the defense. Flowerful finds 2 kills, and that's a 3v3 now. There's plenty of time for this spike to go down, and the site will be cleared by Dig. But we've got a showstopper out from Laurie and just wrapping through mail here, and this is going to be quite dangerous. Just a very fast way to clear lots of positions. Might just send that straight to the back. I don't know that that's going to connect to anything, but there goes the res as well, even though they are out-equipped at the moment. Of course, the weaponry advantage is massively in favor of Dig. There is numbers here working in the favor of Shopify as they make their way through B main, or rather, sorry, through B Heaven, down into the site, but these ranges are difficult. Laurie able with the only rifle to take a kill quickly there. Out comes the ult, and it's looking very difficult at this point. Panini, last player standing with that sheriff, and it is a very difficult peek here. Rain will take that one down nicely, and that was a great effort, though.
That was it didn't seem like an important round in the beginning, but by the end of the round, I mean, it's so easy to get baited into this stuff in Valorant, right? Where you're saving, but you end up in this scenario where you're up a player. So should you start using your ultimates? Should you start using your abilities? And all of that stuff is very costly. Using a res right there, using the showstopper. Those are round-changing abilities. So even though you're at a gun deficit, you think you can win with the ults, and it just didn't play out. That's a huge momentum swing going in Dig's favor.
Yeah, I'm loving the ISORB lineups as well. Just at the opening of this round, super fast control coming through from Dig, up A ramp, into A heaven, just forcing the defense all the way back. And it really will have to be just a retake game here right now for Shopify. It will be very hard to actually stop the spike getting planted at this point. And with A heaven control as well, Dig is certainly looking quite strong at the moment. The lockdown comes through. Laurie doubles up on the frags against Dig, winning back A heaven control. Huge win coming through. Powerful as well. These frags are just going crazy at this point, up in A heaven, and it's all the frags, and they're all in favor at this point of Shopify. Fantastic retake. My goodness.
Wow. That was a very, very important exchange that Laurie got the best of inside ropes. I mean, the Killjoy ult pushes Dig into ropes, right into the loving arms of Laurie, who just got there. She literally just jumped in ropes herself and gets both frags. That second one is so fast.
Yeah, it was just insane. I mean, I'm expecting at that point just with the... I mean, that looks so potent, that push. It looks so good. I mean, that's the magic, isn't it? Just sometimes somebody pops off, and this time it was Laurie. What a response. Laurie really doing such great work here in this series so far. After that first map that was a little bit rough, coming back strong on map 2 and map 3 here as well. 3-3, we're all tied up, and Dig not with quite the pace at the start of the round here, as we've seen in a lot of their attacking sides so far.
Dig has put a lot of emphasis on this A heaven position, whether that be through mid, through ropes, or going up this A ramp. It looks like they think this is a weak point, and they've won the majority of these encounters. The one exception being that Killjoy ult round we just saw.
And there is no Killjoy ult for Shadow. For Shadow? My goodness, Sean, it is a struggle for me here as well right now for Shopify Rebellion. And so it's going to be down to the fragging power of Flowerful at the back of the site. How many? Well, it's just 0. The Spectre running Flowerful down. And it's going to be now just a single player left. Thea looking for some damage, but Panini in the back for Shopify Rebellion, getting it done. And that's a great hold. I love that Dig found that opening, just as you said, but... seemed like it all went according to plan as far as Shopify Rebellion are concerned, and now they have the lead. It's just one round, but still a lead nonetheless.
I didn't catch it, but based on the ult orbs, I'm fairly certain Panini ulted to the A site to save that round. I don't know how Panini would have gotten there that quickly, so I think Panini ulted to A and got a quad kill to save that round.
You are right, Sean.
That's a massive
the only
play.
ult that they had.
Yeah.
Made
That
it
was
count.
An incredible play. Oh.
Oh, man. The pace is just being ramped up massively here for Dig. They want to answer back quickly. Oh, Laurie's going straight for it with the showstopper. Gets the double in mid. There's a showstopper in response, but there's nobody home. There's no one here in mid. There's the flash. It's a total whip there. That is massive value found by Laurie early on, and Flowerful taking down Thea. That's got to feel good, considering how annoying Thea has been. That's going to feel real good, the Flowerful.
Annoying is a total understatement. I feel like the entire half she's just been lurking by that ramp and just, pounces whenever mid contact happens. And she's been so successful at it. Now look at this Killjoy utility. It's all up. She's back A site. Oh, but he's getting pinched.
Uh-oh. I mean, Rain has the ult here, so if there's a strong enough argument there is an ult play to be made with the Omen TP onto that B site. I mean, that is a desperate move, but we'll see if that's what it comes down to here. A 2 versus 3, that's a great frag. Might not even need any such shenanigans. And able to maybe catch a break, but it's Rain to take the fight. All the way to the end there is now Panini, once again, coming in from this A-ramp position. Able to split up these two players. Has to get this kill quickly until, that's going to be it. Stephanie's just going to straight re-peek it and take it down. So we get a tied score here. These two teams look very difficult to separate at this point. 4-4. We're already seeing a lot of great action here.
I honestly thought when Laurie got that double showstopper that the round was going to go easily in their favor. I didn't see the res was on deck from Emily. That was a game changer. That res. And like I said, Dig keeps going in this A heaven position. They're avoiding the Killjoy mollies. and they're pushing through elbow, and Flowerful is struggling with it right now. She's struggling with it because most hits come through A main, and that's not how Dig is doing this.
And there we go once again. This is the defense coming in from KP on that A-ramp position. We know how much Dig like to gain this position, but this time around, Shopify Rebellion denying it, sending out those flashes, keeping the pressure up. The full line in response, but still, Dig are holding on to this position nice, or rather, sorry, Shopify Rebellion holding on to this position nicely at the top of A-ramp, and that's going to cause Dig to have to reconsider things here. And we go into the mid rounds as they reset.
Yeah, and I love the discipline from Panini. It's very easy to over-rotate to A on a hit like that, especially when the Sky util is getting all the info. But if you look, Reen has that ult on deck. And very easily they could have lost the B site if Panini had left.
And there's just so much time here as well that that there's just been total silence.
Yeah, this is a really good reposition here by Dig. I mean, they're clearly going at the weaker side, but they're going to go through mid right into the teeth.
Spike down mid.
And there's the trade, and that's not going to be too favorable for Dig, already hurting 4 players. 20 seconds to go. Desperate is one way I could describe this right now for Dig. Panini in the back with the goods. And there's the double to secure the round. Shopify Rebellion once again pulling ahead, but only by 1 round. I actually really like the mid push, like going back into mid there, Sean, because it feels like they were trying to play high risk there, trying to catch a rotation. This didn't work out.
Yeah, especially coming through market. I mean, right? You just got spotted by A. What are the odds that 2 of you are going to come out of market, right? They had really good timing, and unfortunately, you know, they just got traded out. But when you're down a player, getting traded out, it's not good enough, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So Lori did a really good job of satcheling away and just keeping that, you know, man up advantage and carrying it throughout the round. And Panini tucking into the back of the site, you know, holds true and finds the last 2. And
I'm really curious actually about how this is going to go, because I actually felt like you know, Dig would be for me, you know, more favored on both halves, and so far we're seeing a really good and powerful response here from Shopify Rebellion, and they're going to be against the Eco, so they're in a great spot to actually finally pull ahead. And if things keep going that way, this could start to landslide. So Dig need to be quite cautious. We'll see them, you know, on this half buy, so there is some firepower, but it is quite limited. Oh, and it's an A retake setup again on the defense from Shopify Rebellion. I really like these A retake setups that they've been doing.
yeah, especially when they have the Flowerful Killjoy ult on deck. I mean, we've seen they have ideas for how to hold that and take control of ropes, wait for it to you know, come to fruition, and then slowly retake from there. Oh,
The judge as well.
Oh my
they just know exactly what to do right now. Shopify Rebellion about to light it up. Out comes the judge, and that mid position is not looking all that open at all for Dig. Emelito is going to find a ticket eventually, but we'll see how many passes that's good for. Dig make their way through mail as well. This is really all that they can do, just to try to fall onto this B site, but it is labored. A 1v2 though for Sholiana, and time to play with, although the spike is down in a compromised position. So at this point, it is a very easy series of decisions for Shopify Rebellion. It's just about hitting the shots. And Sholiana, you know, with the full line and the aftershock, maybe there is something to be done here. Especially if Sholiana can find a favorable timing on this next fight. Not going to happen though. Han will shut it down, and indeed, Shopify Rebellion will capitalize, and that's 6-4.
yeah, it got a little close. It got a little close. I mean, the 3 opening frags all went in Shopify Rebellion's favor, but then the trades came in swiftly. And I mean, that 2-on-3 got real scary, especially when Sholiana knew that the last 2 players were in the B site. But this last round is gonna, I think the Breach ult is gonna come into play. This is the old patch. It's not as solid as the new patch, but it's pretty much free B having control if you want it. Right? And it looks like the Breach is lined up for that ult. Curious how it's used here.
Being able to clear some of those more tricky 50-50 positions.
Oh, they're getting so far.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of value here. Ooh, burning the paranoia too. That's a huge win for Dig. It looks like Shopify Rebellion really think that this is a lot further progressed than it is. What a huge bait on the utility. That's a massive win.
I mean, Panini is absolutely going to get hit by this breach ult, and Stephanie might be able to capitalize and get a 2K because of it. Here it comes.
Stephanie in a great position, as you said. Ready, set up. There's the Rolling Thunder,
Wow,
and here comes the push. And yeah, able to get out of there just barely somehow, some way. Thea in the mix, though, trying to hold on to that B-Heaven position. Stephanie lending a hand. We do have the Killjoy ultimate, the lockdown coming through from spawn to try to clear out some of these spaces. You can see that all the defenders are having to fall back to B main. It does make things a little bit easier, especially given this plant spot. They're going to have to run out, and there comes the stick. There's the hold from Panini, just locking it down. Oh, making it look far too easy. Panini with the trio of kills, making it nice and safe for Flowerful.
Wow, the value that Panini has found in the Omen ult twice this half. That's insane. She ulted to A to get a 4K the first time. She ulted away from the breach ult here. Right before Stephanie was about to take her out. Comes back into the site and gets the 3-piece. That's gorgeous. That's insane.
It should not look that easy. That is amazing. And that is such a swing round too. I mean, that's a real momentum shifter. I feel like, it's been so difficult for Shopify Rebellion to really gain traction on this half, and now that's finally happened. A 3-round advantage after things were going back and forth consistently, 1-1. Dig open things up this round with some mid control.
And I have to ask you, we have a judge at A ramp. Are you the type of person that's rooting for that judge to get kills? AKA, you want the world to burn, or do you want that judge to be taken care of?
I want the world to burn, Sean. But hang on, just hold that thought for a second. Stephanie going forward with that showstopper. It is coming out to play here, and Laurie also. There's the judge, and there it is. It's failed. So there's definitely going to be some happy people out there. But Flowerful's looking to try to keep position in screens at the very least, and it is working out. There is a res available from Han as well, so I don't know that there's any bodies in a safe position to find that res just yet. So they retake that A ramp position. In fact, KP will be resed. So was one body safe for that res. And the advantage in player numbers now goes in favor of the retaking Shopify Rebellion. Looking to make this an 8-4 finish. Emily with the defense trying to come through there, but it's now down to Stephanie in the 1v2 from both sides, trying to isolate these fights, trying to find the timings for the peaks, gets the connection, down to 49, still gets it, is slower to the fight, slower to draw the gun, but wins the clutch, and Dig with a much-needed final round at the end of the first half.
Oh my goodness. I think the 7-5 scoreline just feels so much better than being down 8-4. It feels doable now, right? It feels like you had a good half on attack side of split if you end with 5 as opposed to 4. I think I actually am beginning to flip-flop there, which is typically a good sign, actually, for my Shopify pick. So I always have to doubt myself,
Yeah. I mean, I just caved. I just gave up the prediction game. I threw the towel in earlier, so I respect that you're still in the prediction game, and it does look like it's turning out nicely right now for Shopify Rebellion. We're going to get a fast pressure coming through onto B main here from Shopify Rebellion, and it looks like there's a lot to respond to this on the defense from Dig.
Yeah.
They look ready for this. I guess the satchel to clear some space, get towards that site. Laurie will go down, but the question is, has Laurie created opportunities for her teammates? Well, the answer is a firm no. Everyone is getting completely wrecked on this push. It's just going to be Panini left, trying to just salvage something, get some money out of this, prevent a flawless. At least that goal has been achieved. But a great defense coming through from Dig. And in fact, we haven't seen them winning many pistols, and there could not be a more important pistol to win, obviously, at this point, than the last one of the series.
Yeah, and Stephanie came up huge again with the frenzy, though, on this round. Swinging around the pillar. Grabbing, I don't know if she got 2 or 3 this round. I think it was just 2. But the Cypher living in the back of the site. And Laurie hunted that player down. Thea just, swerved away back pillar, allowed the rotate to come in, and they just won every battle. They just, it was always a 2-on-1 on their peaks.
Yeah, you love to see that level of team play, awareness, and communication. And it's going to be, I mean, this is a very typical thing to do when you're on pistols, is to try to play the close ranges up mid. And they're actually going to go for the walk-through ropes. And given that B heaven, has been given up, that could work out. But in the meantime, we do have that push all the way through B main here. So this is very, very known at this point. Oh, this could be brutal. The timing, it is good. It is so damn good for Rain and Thea and Stephanie. Everybody is chiming in on the defense, and that's all gone according to plan for Dig.
Wow, that's a nice paranoia. I mean, the heaven split's coming in. You go up to that screens wall. Where is there to hide? There's nowhere to go, Dan. There's just nowhere to go. Yep. Very well done by Rain. It's easy to just play the passive scenario, sit behind that smoke, play for the retake. But then what happens is your site player gets overwhelmed, and you end up in this weird 5-on-4 retake, and it's so chaotic. I like that Rain just took the initiative and just pushed right there.
Yes, taking the initiative's huge. And speaking of which, we do have a defensive full line likely coming through to try to slow down, indeed, this B main aggression. We got the Ice Orb on top of that. So it's a signature plus 100 credits in this patch for a lot of value. Good response, though, to go a little bit more aggressively towards this A main control as well in response. But will we see Shopify trying to re-clear B main? Because they can't know if there's anybody in B main. And last round, there was a push from there. So got to be careful. It looks like they're not interested, Sean.
Yeah, typically you would use your initiator, which in this case would be KP on the sky, to send a Trailblazer in, a Guiding Light in, something that gives you information that they're in B main. But you can see KP's all the way at A heaven right now. Oh!
Dink, dink. With that Spectre, definitely doesn't pack quite the punch of a Phantom. Laurie able to answer back quite nicely, and what a recovery that is. They've got a lot to work with now in the sense of positioning. Ooh, Thea's in a pretty rough spot here, but actually because Rain is doing so much damage, this defense is suddenly looking very, very good here from Dig. Rain, what an incredible performance, and Thea there to finish it off. Oh my goodness, that was not supposed to go that way. What a defense from Dig.
Oh my goodness, when Laurie gets the opening too, there's just so much importance on Rain not only finding a frag right there, but living. And she comes out and gets 2 and lives. At that moment, you just know there's no shot. There's 0 shot you're going to clear out Thea behind that flower pot position. That was another massive round from Rain, rotating through screens. The paranoia just destroyed the incoming hit.
Yeah, and I know you highlighted Rain earlier as well, and we really have been seeing some of those key moments from her. But, back to the expected eco up mid. Often, again, these closer ranges tend to be given up by the defenders. No need to risk engagements where the pistols will perform better.
We didn't talk about it, but winning a bonus round like that in Valorant, it's brutal. It's brutal because now you can see what it's done to the economy. Shopify Rebellion are on this eco with only sheriffs. The ults are building for Dig. The money is building. Everything momentum-wise is going in Dig's favor. Thea is already behind right now. Are they going to expect the sewer push?
Time to farm the Thea, perhaps. Timing is looking pretty decent, but Stephanie might be quicker to the action. The question is, will they roll over Stephanie? The flash comes through. The timing's good. Great stuff. Showstopper comes out as well to finish off KP. Really want those frags. That is a choice to burn the Showstopper there, but it has certainly secured this round. There's really no time here for Panini, but damage could still be done. It's going to take a hell of a shot coming out of this dark cover. Oh, that's unfortunate. And now we did cleaning up the round. 9-7, and they have really started to take over this match.
They have, yeah. And Thea remains aggressive on the extremities. That's so tragic, by the way. That beautiful flank that she had going, it nets 0 frags, but team game, you know, win is a win. I like the idea though, and I also like the fact that Stephanie showed aggression at male, and even if she would have fallen, Thea definitely gets like a 2K right there from behind, right? It's just allowing that flank to happen by showing some pressure. So again, Dig has kind of turned a new leaf on this half, and we have yet to see anything from Shopify that is going to signal that they're ready to make this comeback.
Yeah, definitely. And given how it looked really confident from Shopify, it really did seem like they found a lot of strengths. It certainly is now that the ball is really, well, it's in Dig's court, but you know, we need to see Shopify find an argument to steal that ball away and just take the initiative and start leading the race here. Only 2 rounds away at this point. Still lots of time to work with. A full buy for both sides. We haven't actually seen much operator play between these two teams overall in this series. We're not going to see it here yet either.
Yeah, it's really hard to get the operator going on the raise pick because you typically want to have, you know, so much impact with the paint shells, particularly when you have a sage like this with a slow. So they're just getting that B main control right off the bat. This is an A hit.
Yeah, I love that. Clearing out the flower pot very quickly. Satchel into the backside. You got the paranoid going through the Omen ult as well to get into screens. And Thea won't be able to find the conversion there. That was very close. Panini able to just, by the skin of her teeth, get out of that one. KP with that A ramp control. This is a huge position. And, Han can run distraction here. And, the peak timing is not going to work out, though. Han a little bit too slow on the peak. And Stephanie takes full advantage. Great conversion there. There comes... Oh, no. Firefall comes through and just takes down both players with the res. And quickly, things turn on its head. Stephanie tries to respond. Able to drop Glory quite quickly. But still, lots more to be done here. As a fake TP comes through. And the Nanoswarm goes down. And that might just lock it in right now. There is no time here for Stephanie. Has to try to lock this one in. But there's just nothing to be done. Flowerful finishes it off. It was a good effort, but Flowerful, the one with that timing coming through ropes to punish the res, that was the turning point for sure.
That was a fantastic round from Shopify Rebellion. That was so beautiful. The double rampler, which honestly went about as bad as it could have gone, right? Losing that trade battle on the ramp with KP and Han, I believe it was. And then Flowerful hitting that timing, going through ropes like that, was just so perfect. And when you look now, they have a res and a lockdown. And they're going into this B lockdown for sure this round. And a showstopper to add to it. This could really turn things around. This is a very, very important round.
Nine for Dig, 8 for Shopify.
I like
Slow
that.
B main control.
I'm not sure if you caught that, but they smoked the A main cross. They broke the Sage wall there. KP, distracted. Cypher gets away just in time. The B site's lost, though. This is going to be a 5-on-5 retake. And they have no ults to work with.
Yeah, it will be a tough one. In fact, though, Shirleyana is one frag off of the Rolling Thunder. So we'll have to see if Shirleyana is able to charge that one up. That could be very decisive. Spike is trying to be planted. Great cover coming through from Han. And that's the lost. At least able to take down one. And there is some ground gained here, but it is limited. It looks like the fights are just not going the way of Dig here. Rain, last player standing, is doing some good work, but too much work overall to be done. 9-9. And we asked the question as to whether Shopify Rebellion would be able to find the initiative, if they'd be able to take things back under control. And they really have seemed to. They've tied it up here now.
This is getting scary for Dig. I'd imagine they have a couple ults on deck. They had none that last round. But their economy has to just be dwindled down. They can't have much money. And we're going to find out really quickly when we get the overview of the economy. If they don't have economy in this round, it's such a big round for Shopify to build up theirs. Yeah, and they don't. They have to save. Wow. Actually, interesting call. I would call a buy here with that kind of money, Dan. I don't know about you. It's kind of weird in Valorant because you also have to buy all of those abilities, and they don't have
Yeah.
many. So it'd be a lot of like Phantom, half shields, maybe a Spectre on someone. Yeah, they're gonna buy. I like it.
I can't wait to see how this goes because, of course, there is the Rolling Thunder. But the only thing that I'm worried about for Dig's sake is I'm sure that they can get a site, but with their money so low, I wonder if they'll have the util to actually hold a post plant. That's the major question. But we're gonna see if we're even gonna get to that point. We do have the res available still for Shopify Rebellion on Han, so you can see early on here with the look on the barriers that we will be having mid pressure coming through, not just from one team, but from both.
Dan, I guarantee you it's going to be a mid retake with this Rolling Thunder right now. The second they get male contact from close on Stephanie, the Rolling Thunder is going to come out. It's coming soon.
Oh, the wall is there, though. That's not going to be broken. That could be a safe way to play. Stephanie goes straight out there. There's the Rolling Thunder, and that's certainly going to hit Stephanie. But somehow Stephanie actually dodges that, gets away with it, I think, with a satchel over the top of it, and they are going to completely halt the mid take coming through, and the Rolling Thunder will be burned for nothing.
They're going to try to res this body in mid, but look, Dig is keeping 3 players there. They're aware. And yeah, I think both teams are aware of the possibility of this res. And Shopify just, they know it's not possible. Wow.
Yeah, you'd almost have to take a massive gamble here if you're Shopify in just predicting how your opponents are going to rotate around the map here. But it gets so difficult the more you wait as to know what they're doing. Oh, Rain with the info ults. And now just going to be forced to use the paranoia, just trying to hold on to the back of the side. The peek comes through, and it's the showstopper from Stephanie finally from that B-Heaven position. That's good for one, but it looks like Shopify have actually managed to find a plant here, and there is a real opportunity to make this round work.
AP needs this heal, and he can get them both to 100. Oh my, that is so clutch.
Oof.
That's so clutch. The Sky heal coming in huge right there.
Thea might hit a really good timing on the lurk, though. They've got to be so careful because the drop comes from Heaven. Now, oh no, Thea, they're going to line up for Thea. And it's just now down to Panini against 2 players. Finds the first one, able to capitalize on the distraction, and gets the second. The clutch coming through from Panini. Fantastic stuff there for Shopify. And they're going to stay in the lead by 1 round. Again, this is so competitive.
Jesus. Pressed up against the corner. Panini comes out hot. Sorry, I had to do it, Dan. Yeah, that was... Panini's just literally coming up big time and time again. Honestly, the late round heroics coming out of Panini this game is definitely what's keeping Shopify Rebellion in this game. I mean, this is such a good Omen performance. Honestly, from both Omens. I think the fake ult coming out of Rain, coming back into the body, throwing the paranoia, swinging with it. Very unlucky that no one was on the screen on that peak. Wow.
Oh, just such great calm and composure from Panini there for those last 2 kills. They really, seem to be in such a great mental state, just not impacted at all by just how incredibly important that clutch was. We can see the damage to the economy for Dig. It wasn't just a round win. It may be a round win and a very favorable following rounds here, as we can see that the money is so bad for Dig.
And look at the ults now on Dig 2. It's not even just an economy thing. They wasted everything to win that round. And honestly, it looked like they should have won it. Shopify has these late round heroics and these small quirky plays. Regrouping with the Sky heal was massive, in my opinion. It was... I can't even say how big that was, that the Sky ran around from a lurk spot to do that.
Definitely, and I don't know if flower port was cleared there, but they did at least get rid of the trip. Laurie, will make her way through once again with the satchels. And Panini is feeling it right now, finding a fantastic timing, feels that flank coming through sewers, deals with it effectively, and it's going to be a difficult series of fights here now for Dig as they try to edge their way down the ramp, but it's the bait. Unable to convert on that one, and just the ISO just making it impossible. Panini with really good timings as well if it was needed, but Han will take it down, and they are going to shut out that round. Dig, of course, did not really have anything to work with, but still, a confident look for Shopify Rebellion, who are now 2 rounds away from winning this series in the upper bracket quarterfinals here in VCT Game Changers.
And look at the performance Stephanie's having, too. I mean, we mentioned that she was the player to look out for before the series ever started. I mean, you have your star player with 26 frags, 20 rounds into the game. Let's be honest here. They're still on defense side of split, okay? They're not in a terrible spot. This is anyone's game. I think this is literally going to go down to the wire, Dan. This is insane.
Yeah, it's really looking like it. Dig, can they find some performance in this round to turn it on its head? They do have that top A ramp control at the moment, and that has been, it's been quite a popular opening for Shopify to try to take away that position. And this slow pace, though, is actually quite difficult, I think, for Dig, who at this point must be wondering what is going on. I like the re-smoke coming through onto B main. Shopify really trying to sell something there, burning the paranoia.
And look at that Panini ult into an open A site. The site's open. Rain needs to find one here.
Rain still with her paranoia, ready to go. And Rain, she may not get a frag, but holding on to this position is huge. Looking for a timing. Laurie has to hold things down there. Able to turn away from the flash. The paint shots for the cover, but straight into Rain. The look from Rain has been fantastic. The timing, the patience, the discipline. All the shots coming together. But it is now down to Flowerful to try to save this one. And oh, the fault line is perfect. I don't know that there's any chance.
But there's no time.
Oh, there's no time for this one. What a incredible performance there from Rain. You're calling for the frags, Sean, but Rain went for the big brain play, the timing.
Yeah, something about letting a small fish go to catch a big fish later. She caught a real big fish.
Oh no, just like, oh my, that's like that scene from Pulp Fiction where like all the bullets are flying and it's like, I think I was saved by something greater. There's something greater at play here that we don't understand that has saved me.
The crazy thing is without the fault line, I bet Flowerful throws a molly on the spike, but she was so pressed on time, she had to just go with, the gun. Wow. Very well played by Dig, particularly Rain, to win that round.
That has made this its most exciting version, I think, this game. Now, this finish is looking down to the wire between these two teams. Here comes the quick push into that B site once again. And not the best firepower in the world here for Dig. Hurting for economy, hurting for guns. Couple Spectres in play here on this retake. Be very difficult. Shopify are looking quite strong here at the moment. They've got full B main control, full site control. Good info here coming through from KP as well to understand that there's nobody on the immediate flank right now. And oh man, KP's going to take that opportunity to actually go for a long flank through mid. So the time is really on the retake here in more than one sense, and it's going to come down to hitting the shots, and Shopify Rebellion are just owning it right now. 12-10. One more round to clinch this. Does Dig have anything left in the tank?
Oh man, I can't imagine they do. I can't imagine they do. We know, I mean, from the CS economy, 2 players living, which is what happened on that round where Rain came up big. They have to drop weapons to the other 3 that died in that round. So that ends up in a scenario where no one has money if you lose the following round. And look at what's happened to their economy. Oh, they have the res. They have the res here. Oh, those paint shells. Oh, they barely got away.
Oh, I love that play from Laurie. It doesn't find its mark, but they're finding a timing which I think that you can't really easily react to. If they weren't already pulling back immediately, I think Laurie gets a double there and converts. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, Laurie's aggression throughout this entire series has been so pivotal. And again, like, she's just pushing the issue every time.
And this is it. This is the moment. Oh, Laurie's going to go down to the Spectre there. That's a big win. A 5v4 retake now. It's still difficult coming through for Dig. given that they don't really have great weaponry, that is a battle that can be collected.
Look at this lurk
Oh,
from
the flank
Panini.
Panini. How many times have we said Panini's name in this map? It's been pretty nuts. 2 players left now to try to keep the chances alive in this series for Dig. Rain and Emily. It's so hard trying to get over that wall there with her own, but Rain now just jumping through the dark cover. It's not going to work out. And my goodness, I didn't expect this to happen. I didn't expect our predictions to be correct, Sean, after that first map especially. But Shopify Rebellion will take down Dignitas in this clash. It went all the way to the final 3 maps, all the way to split. And it was damn close.
It was so close. And that's with Stephanie having a gangbusters performance. I think you said it at the end right there. The amount of times that you said Panini, and I said Panini. I'm starving, first of all, after thinking about Paninis for that long. She came up so big. Every pivotal round, she got a 3K or a 4K or ulted away. It was so insane.
Yeah, I don't know who to blame, Sean or Panini, for being hungry right now, but that's definitely happening for sure. Panini, she was just coming in hot for the squad. We were kind of concerned for Shopify there for a moment, seeing how Dignitas came out really hot out the gate with the maps, and then it was Shopify Rebellion in the end, though, to shut it down on split, guys, and they are advancing. They just sent Dignitas to the lower bracket. How's that feel? That's their #1 seed now in the lower bracket today.
That's
wild.
such a big result because, especially, again, as you said, they started off the series so rocky, and it really felt like they had the edge. They just had the edge, especially in the mental game, coming out again at the start so confident. So I feel like there's so much credit for me personally that I've got to throw the way of Shopify, just keeping it together and just keeping it together, believing and closing. That's amazing to see.
Yeah, and to go along that same narrative, Lori, 0-18 on Haven.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. 0-18 on the opening map. She comes back and top frags the second map, and then has another insane performance on split. That is so impressive to mentally come back from. I would be so mentally boomed if I went 0-18. I would be mentally checked out. But she kept up the aggression and did everything her team probably asked of her as an entry duelist.
Attackers win.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And then here is some stats here for everybody. Of course, we love to see this coming up. I'm sure we're going to see some following images as well as we usually do. And my gosh, guys, I know you guys were casting it, so I can't even imagine how you're feeling on your end because you guys kept just going through that last round for map. For me, I'm just like over here. Like, I don't know if production could see me, but I'm like, whoa, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And just excellent, just valiant work just all around by both squads. It's unfortunate to see Dignitas go down, but I'm sure they're probably going to keep moving through. But we will see on that as well. So, guys, it is time to announce our first MVP for the Game Changers event. Our next MVP here, Professional Makeup Match MVP. That's going to be the Panini we all have come to already know and love. That's my face. Hi.
And half of mine. Oh my goodness, that's some kind of crazy monstrosity there. But it's it's hard to. I think Sean and I were already like talking about Panini so much at the end. It just does seem like such a natural pick. But at the same time, I think there are so many different threads you could go down for this, and it would be just as justified. Like I think Sean talking about Laurie in that way as well was there's a lot of arguments for Laurie too. Again, I can't, as someone that has competed, I've experienced those mental breakdowns, and it does happen when you have a bad map, and we're talking about a map in a tactical FPS game. I was playing a game like Quake. It's a lot easier to reset because in Quake, because the games are so short, but in this, like, you're sitting in that bad performance, you're thinking about all of the naysayers, the people on the internet who are very mean sometimes, and what Twitter will say, and that can like really get into your head, especially if you don't have a lot of experience dealing with how do you deal with a bad performance. So it's such a great thing to see, and you don't see it very often. So like I almost am tempted to throw it Laurie's way personally, but it's a team effort at the end of the day, of course, and I think they've got to be super proud of how they're able to come back into that series, given that Dig was playing very well also.
Yeah. I echoing everything you say. What we just saw happen with Lori going 0-18 to the performance on the last 2 maps, that is so rare. I can't even think of one time I've seen something like that in a series. Like, I can't think of anything like that. That is such a good turnaround, especially in a game like Valorant where everyone has unique abilities, and especially out of a duelist that you need to come up big, right? You need to have the Jet come up big. You need to have the Raze come up big. She did on the last 2 maps. She came up big and she aggressed on the attack half, and even on the defense side we saw her pushing in Breeze middle and behind at A. Hats off to Lori and Panini, particularly for that last map.
Well,
Can I add one more quick thing? I'm sorry to I keep talking over you.
do it. No,
so sorry.
You got a delay. It's fine.
But
It happens.
I have to say, I think it is even more impressive. I just really have to accent this, because when you're on the duelist, what happens when you're playing a duelist is that you're playing the most risky roles, where you're putting yourself out there. And not only do you have to hit shots, especially when you don't have as much confidence because things haven't been going your way, not only is that difficult, but you have to keep taking risks. And the thing that happens when you have bad games and when you go into your like C game is you become risk averse. That is the exact thing that happens. So it's the worst player, the worst role for something like that to happen to.
Yeah.
So I just really wanted to like really emphasize this, because it is very impressive.
Very impressive. Yes, absolutely. And all the winning all around. And do you know who else is winning? It's the chat.